Well, I hit the mute button, and normally it mutes both, but I guess
no one.
No, I hit the mute button, but the thing is every time Discord has an update, it up the buttons. So you got to go do all the whole things all over again, and it's a headache.
Oh, it's always Discord's fault. It's always somebody else's fault.
It sounds like a skill issue, sir.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. Dedicated in bringing you all the latest information, news, and opinions. This is the best show for new and veteran Guardians alike, where we share tips, tricks, and tools to help you succeed and enjoy playing even more. So with all that said, let me hand you over to your hosts, the Triumph Hunting Titan Nitedemon, the pink-panted pansy Peroty, and your Hunter Master Ranger, Mr. No One Respawns in Real Life!
Demon is here. What are you talking about? We're just overpowering him right now because we're having to talk about dumb stuff.
See, we're just warming up for the 2.5 hour Iron Banner extravaganza you're about to embark upon.
Oh my god!
See, this is the last time you're going to hear us because it's just going to be Demon telling you the glories of Iron Banner.
No, that's
the rest
next
of the
week.
time.
Don't put people off. That's next week.
That's the week after this Tuesday.
This week, I'm going to revel in the fact that people like Grenada Jake and I Frostbolt have all got their knickers in a twist because they don't want 2 weeks of Iron Banner. They want their trials. They don't want skill-based matchmaking. They want connection-based matchmaking. Well, boo-hoo. You have trials every week. And it's my
you've
turn
got
to
strong
shine.
feelings on the matter, brother.
Back and forth and back and forth. We want this, we want that. We want this, we want that. We want this, we want that. We want this matchmaking, we want that matchmaking. It's all bad. It's all going to be an absolute mess. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Oh, damn. Hold on. Guys. Can one of you that's in the chat go through I think it was the Respawn's Box of Shame? No. There was a link that was...
Can someone do Respawn's work for him? Because never once will he bring content.
No. I'm in here. I'm in here, but I'm trying to remember who the hell sent me the link. Because my memory's bad. Was it Dimwee? It's got to be Dimwee. Who did I have an argument with earlier It was Dimwee. Yeah, hold on. Let me look up Dimwee.
Who was I arguing with this week? I was arguing with myself. Oh, no, it was Dimwee.
Yeah, it's usually Dimwee. Aegis?
Stepped into the war.
Aegis is how you spell his name. He's a YouTuber, right? And he has apparently lots of spreadsheets for damages and this and all kinds of fancy stuff, right? Because Dimwee kept getting mad at me because I mentioned Astacross. He goes, forget about Astacross. Look at this.
Yeah, like Corp Projects and the PvE guys who maintain the damage spreadsheets and all that stuff.
Yeah, that. So I watched a few of his videos, and the one that I found really interesting, right, is the one on the damage deep dive why Ergo Sum is the highest DPS sword, right?
I guess we're starting the show then. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the show. Hi, my name is Respawn.
And I just jump in and I talk about stuff.
So I just get so excited.
So the Aegis relic on YouTube.
It just says Aegis. He's got the Pepe frog coming out of a box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. YouTube.com/the Aegis relic. AEGISRELIC.
I see it now. Yeah. And he's got a lot of really good videos, a lot of good deep dives, and like I was shocked. I mean, I knew Ergo Sum was good. Don't get me wrong, right? But when he goes into all the things that it can do, there is one roll of this exotic sword that is hands and shoulders above everything else.
Hands and shoulders,
knees and toes.
Yes,
knees and toes.
Head and shoulders is what I meant. But yeah, so the Ergo Sum does more damage than I think every heavy legendary sword. Everyone, and some of the exotic legendary swords, right? And the role you're looking for is the Ergo Sum with the perfect fifth and the caster frame, right? And I don't know if it's intentional or whatever, but when you go Transcendent, instead of just doing the +5 damage, you actually get +53 damage bonus with the Ergo Sum. And so you pop Transcendence, you hit him with a grenade. That grenade, if you have the catalyst, will continue to fill your sword ammo while you're bopping away on him, right? So the sword ammo economy really becomes negligible at that point. And that perfect fifth just detonates over and over and over again because I think the caster frame damages multiple times in addition to your swipes. So he's just going boom, 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 boom. And like I took it into a GM, I took it into the exotic class item, I took it into a raid for one encounter, and it does mad damage. It is surprising how much damage it does. Now I don't know how common the perfect fifth roll is. All I know is in my box I have 92 rolls of this sword. Yes, I know I need to delete some of them.
And that you have a problem. I'm taking the crown from Demon and putting it atop of your head now. You need to see someone about this situation.
Well, I will. I wish there was a chart like Ingram.blue has, but for the sword. That way I can get rid of all the duplicates without having to search through it. I'm just too lazy to do it right now. I will do it, I promise. But as of right now,
I mean, Dim will do that for you. You can load it up in Dim and compare the rolls and go, these are the exact same.
I don't know how to do that though, because I've tried to compare the rolls. You can only do one or the other. You can't do both. Like I wanted to say,
Peroty, and Respawn, the other way that you can actually do is you take a piece of paper, you write things down on the piece of paper.
I know, but that goes into the whole being lazy thing.
No, fine.
Yeah, I know. I will do it. I promise you.
Doing an analog task, that's simply not going to work.
No, well, sometimes when I'm writing down like spreadsheets for Destiny and things, sometimes I find it easier to write it on a big piece of paper so that I've got it it's all out in front of me rather than kind of on a computer screen, so that I can go, right, yeah, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, and then put it into a kind of document that kind of makes more sense as you're kind of reading it. But if you're kind of working on, if you're doing it by yourself, it's going to be harder on like a computer to do it, I think.
Yeah,
that's where you just take Dim and load up your big old screen and go, let's look at this. Let's look at the ARC ones. Let's compare the ARC ones and see which ones are the exact same roll. The other,
yeah.
What's the other?
But some of them can roll in every element. That's what throws off the whole numbers and everything like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You just need to say which ones are exactly the same.
Yeah.
And delete any that are exactly the same, because you don't need two exact same ones. I'll
get to it eventually, okay?
I know what's that.
But the point that I was making is, out of all the swords that I farmed for, right, at the time, I only had one perfect fifth roll. And then I had to farm very specifically to get those swords as fast as I could for about a day and a half or so before I got my second perfect fifth roll, right? I was lucky to get the caster frame on my second roll of the perfect fifth, but it seems like perfect fifth does not roll that often. And I think this is why. So if you have a perfect fifth, hang on to it, because by itself, it's pretty good, right? Just hitting things multiple times is gonna detonate it. Right, but caster frame makes it better because caster frame doesn't take long to recover from, like some of the other heavies do. So you can sling it out; it does damage. You're doing damage. Perfect fifth is popping off all the time. So keep an eye open for that, because that is really, really, really awesome. Also, welcome to the show, guys.
Squirrel!
Welcome to the internet. Take a look around.
Yeah, been here for a while. Since the days of DARPA. What was that, 1960 something?
I've no idea what you're talking about. What's DARPA?
DARPA is the people that actually invented the internet. It's eventually became a defense company. I forgot what DARPA stands for, but it's a defense contracting company.
Didn't eventually become it is the defense. I mean, that's DoD.
Yeah.
DARPA is the agency of the Department of Defense responsible for the development of new technology. That is, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency is what DARPA stands for.
That's right. But it didn't start off as defense. When DARPA first came out, it was actually ARPA. The D was added later. Phrasing. But yeah, it wasn't always a defense contractor. And for those of you that have been in the community, you know that they're at least 20 to 30 years ahead, technologically speaking. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know how we got on that. Oh, the internet, because Peroty made a comment. I am off the box today.
So they have the good AI that's going to actually destroy us?
Yes.
Excellent.
And they are pushing for it post-haste. With
Sounds
aggressive ingenuity.
Remember, drive towards the nukes, don't die in the fallout.
Yes. Or the radiation poisoning after that. That's not a fun way to go. This got dark real fast. I'm not comfortable with how this is going.
Because it's too hot. It's too hot, and I'm done with it. Just nuke it. Let's start over. Let the single cell organisms build the societies back up. See if they do a better job.
Yeah. How are you doing, Night Demon? It's fine weekend, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
You stepped into a war with.
I've been playing on. I finished my Warlock, got them through the campaign, done that, and my Warlock is now prismatic out. He's got all the prismatic stuff. He's still now lacking with Strand. He's way behind on Strand. I think he completely forgot about what Lightfall was all about. The same with my Hunter. I've still got to go and do some Strand stuff. Their prismatic is better than their Strand, which is strange. So yeah, got to do some stuff. What about you guys? Have you been playing any Echoes? Has anyone actually played any Echoes?
Yes.
I actually took the 3 hours it took me to complete all of Echoes, and now I'm waiting for the next version of Echoes.
So, from what I'm hearing from the rest of the community, is it there's an end to this Act 1. Is it an end to the Act 1, or does it come up end of Act 1 so that everybody knows it's end of Act 1 because everybody's acting like it's the end of Act 1?
The quest comes up and does the whole hey, you've done all you can do for this week, Guardian. Tune in next week for when we have more for you. But really, nothing actually changes in the game. You can still go play everything. There's just you don't have to do the play a thing, see a cutscene, talk to Failsafe, play a thing. That whole loop over and over again.
Yeah, confluxes on net. I'm sorry.
Nessus.
First word sounds like a planet.
There's more confluxes. What do you mean there's no change? There's tons of confluxes on Nessus.
I mean, there have always been confluxes on Nessus ever since the beginning of time.
Yeah, but there's more.
And there's earthquakes. Because they're like, hey, remember Nessus exists? And we're all kind of like, yeah, I guess, sorta. I've played the new whatever the new activity on the helm is a couple of times.
Yeah,
and I'm going. I mostly understand what I'm doing. I still haven't done. I think the thing that dumped me into the first week, I've just lost track of all the new activity names because I'm going. Yeah, sure, I'll go do the thing. I go shoot the things in the sky and pick up the things and put them in the barrel. Got it. It's all just Gambit in different places. But it's good fun. I enjoy it. I enjoyed just being in the big open arena and going. I think I like this a lot more than what Battlegrounds was. Because while this is still go shoot a thing, go over here, go shoot a thing, go over there. There's samples to collect along the way. There's stuff to do along the way. It's not just do this, get in your Sparrow, drive 2 hours down the road to the next location, then go fight some more. Even though it's the same setup, it feels a little more like you're in it.
Right. Respawn?
Hold on. I have a headache behind me. What do you want? Anyway, what were you asking me before I was so rudely interrupted?
Echoes. Because I haven't actually played any Echoes, I was just wondering what you guys have actually. I mean, saying that, I did play on my Titan. I did take him through the first mission, so I've done I've got to go and collect a few things and deposit them, and then go back to the helm, speak to somebody, and do something else. But that's as far as I've got because I am still so behind with everything. And this is why I think sometimes that when I understand why Bungie did it with the raid race and everything, and I know we said it a couple of weeks ago, but it seems to be you feed the YouTubers and the people that want to do the raid all the content so fast, and they get to the end of the episode's Act 1, and they're like, "Well, I want more content. I'm starved. I don't want Iron Banner for 2 weeks. I want more of this." And it's like, you did kind of just rush it. You rushed 3 days to get to the raid. You then went through the raid. You knackered yourself for a couple of days. So you came back. You've done other stuff. You've got your other characters through. You've rushed and got all the Echo stuff done. You've now kind of done as much as you want to kind of get done. And now you're tired again. And you're kind of Yeah.
Now it's time to moan that there's nothing to do, whereas some of us
Yes.
are just barely like above 50 on the season pass, haven't gotten the Kvostov, haven't gotten the microcosm, still deeply stuck alone in the dark, where I feel like this is the infinite forest and the infinite night, where this darkness will never end and I'll be alone there forever. Like like I've been getting on like each day, like with the idea going, let's make some progress through one of these 6 trillion quest lines I feel like I have. And I still have loads to do. And I still, like, there's so much to do. I'm like you, like Echoes, like I sort of ran through the story thing going, well, let me sort of check that out and like see that partially because it involves Saint 14. And if you give me a Saint 14 storyline, I'm going to be more invested. That's just what's going to happen. But then it's like, okay, like it was literally like, 3 or so hours of, run this activity a couple times, watch a couple cutscenes, and you're done. And then I went to go watch Mylan Games and Bife to understand what was going on, why the Vex are wearing silly things.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so there's this whole thing going on that you don't like, you kind of mention in cutscenes, but and I think Bife and Mylan both made the point this week of like, you tell us these things are happening in the story, but you don't really show us any of this. Like there's a whole Nitedemon, do you care about spoilers about the Echo story? Like it's
well, I've listened to other podcasts, so I've kind of been spoiled.
Okay,
but
yeah.
we could put a spoiler here for anybody that doesn't want to be spoiled. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll sort of now. I mean, playing the game again. If you're playing the game, it won't be spoiled for you. But if you're playing the game and not paying attention to everything,
so if you've got to the end of Act 1, you're this isn't a spoiler.
Yeah. So okay. Like, there's a whole Vex civil war going on.
Okay.
And in game, you're just like, okay, there's some Vex with funny little necklaces. But that's it. Like if you're playing this game, you'd have no idea that anything like that is happening.
Do they look like Ikora's necklace?
They are Ikora's necklace.
Are they? I've never paid that much attention to Ikora. When she does something more, then she can have some more attention. But
okay,
yeah. But
she's got that giant circle on. It's like a donut that she has around her neck.
I mean, she did build a Stargate, so. Yeah, I'm sitting here going, well, this is all well and good, but like, guys, you could show me
that is not nice.
Story. You could show me what's happening in this game versus just going, hey, we're going to talk about this or make you read it in a cutscene. I think I was moaning about this with Noble earlier in the week, and again, having watched Mylan and Bife's sort of recap on what's going on, of just like, you have all the story. It would be nice to see it, view it in a different way. If you want to make me read screens and screens of text in this multiplayer video game you've given me, let me do that somewhere else. Like
that don't have to do with buying some kind of a content every 2 minutes.
Like, can I go to Bungie.net and be like, hey, you've played these missions. Here's the lore from the game that you can go sit down and read. Like, it just, I don't know. I was having a little bit of moan this week going, oh, I'd love to know more about the lore, but I don't want to read the lore books because that feels like reading a choose your own adventure story
in the game, dude. Every time you do a thing, you get a lore entry. What are you talking about?
Yes, and where can I read that outside of the game?
Oh, you want to read it outside?
If I'm at my Xbox on the couch in the living room, I'm playing the game.
Yeah,
I would love to read this lore outside of that situation. What API can I call to go say, hey, give me this content out here, or even better, don't give me this choose your own adventure. Here's a lore nugget here and there and everywhere. Give me a narrative. First things happened, and then things happened, and that led to this thing, and here's our finale. Like, give me a flow, give me a narrative story that I can read and ingest. That's why I go to YouTube, because that's what they're doing for me. Going, here's all these bits and pieces. Here's what it means in the bigger scheme of things.
Well, I know for a fact they've got one because I used to read it once upon a time when we had our lore guy. He actually gave me a way to read it. So Noble saying you can go to the D2 app, companion app. Sorry. It's there.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, Ishtar Collective is absolutely there, and it is absolutely there. But it still feels like a choose your own adventure book because it's like here's a little bit here and there, and here and here and here, and this links off to 9,000 other things, which I understand. That's why, like, that's how they've done it. But I would just like to know, like, can I just have the story of this? Like, what's the story of the season? Give me the plot line. Give me, front to back, give me what went on. I don't want to have to go jump around like in 16 pages to get this information.
Yeah, and then it's not really in a chronological order or an order that makes sense. I mean, people say that it is. I haven't been able to figure it out. But there's a way that you can organize it so that it does make sense chronologically speaking, and and whatnot. I don't know. There's a way to do it. Do I know how to do it? No. But like you said, it would be nice if the game fed it to us. Like, hey, you want to see the lore? Here's maybe in the mission section at the very bottom, there's like a lore tab that has here's all the lore from season 1. Here's how it ties into season 2 or echoes 2 or whatever.
Bungie,
That would be nice.
You use your words and let me read it on your website.
Yeah.
Hey, this season just ended. Hey, maybe you missed the season. Here's the recap of the story beats. Here's the story written out in words that I can just go read. I'm not even asking for a cutscene. I'm not asking for anything animated. Just give me the words.
Although the cutscenes are pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't make cutscenes, but I'm saying that's a lot of work and voice acting, etc., etc. I'm just saying take someone, have them write words, publish those words. 1990s technology.
Yep. Or utilize your Sony connections and actually do something with it. Whatever.
No.
Just saying, man. Just saying.
So what about you then, Respawn? How are you finding echoes?
Well, I've been doing a lot of farming for a lot of things. I haven't really done the whole Echoes storyline. I did the first part because it made me. Then I'm upset that the seasonal activity says, oh, you want a pinnacle engram? Just do this 3 times. I did it I think 4 or 5 times on the expert level. I still have 0 progress. I'm like, duh. They're like, oh yeah, no, it's been doing that since the season came out. I'm like, and they haven't fixed it?
Of course not.
It is a pinnacle seasonal activity. You'd think that might be a priority. Just saying. But yeah, I'm upsetty spaghetti about that, only because all my armor is either 9999 or 2000. I'm sorry, 1999 or 2000. And that one pinnacle could give me another 2000. But no, Bungie's like, you gotta wait till next week because you suck. Anyway. But story-wise, I don't know the story.
Pinnacle?
Huh?
Have you played enough Gambit to get that pinnacle?
Yes. Gambit is kind of kooky. It's still nuts about how they're melting the boss so fast. The health gate doesn't even exist half the time, Whenever you go down past a third of the health and they get the shield and you got to kill the witches and whatnot, Double Hunter Goldie does not care. Just the boss is dead. I've lost so many matches where the boss has gone from full to dead in the 1 damage phase. Or at least it feels like the 1 damage phase. And I'm just like, yeah, this is a thing. And here I am, the only double Goldie hunter in Gambit and 2 Titans that apparently don't know how to do a whole lot.
We punch things. That is our entire skill set is punching. If it can't
and I
be
don't
punched,
mind that. But can you punch harder? Can you one-shot the boss for me, please?
No, we really can't. We're allowed to punch things and punch things poorly. That is our entire skill set.
Well, no, you do have the punch build. I'm just surprised a lot more Titans don't use triple consecration, right? Because Dimwee didn't believe me when I said it does more damage than a Goldie Super. He goes, there's no way. I'm like, I've tested it with Micah. It does. And then he finally relented to the fact that it actually does do more damage than a Goldie not the single shot. Obviously, the Goldie exotic 1-shot is going to be the big shot, right? But I'm just talking about if you're rocking the 3-shot golden gun, 1 consecration will do more damage than 1 single shot from the golden gun, right? And then if you pop prismatic before you do that, then it does even more damage. And then you get, I think Micah can get 6 or 8 consecrations in a single pop of prismatic. So he ultimately out DPSs me because eventually I'll run out of my double Goldie and then I'll have to build up the sniper Goldie again, right? But while I'm building that back up, he's just popping consecration after consecration after consecration, and that boss is just getting melted, right? So why aren't more Titans doing that? Is it a lack of survivability? Because he doesn't really die whenever he plays with me. So I'm like, why is that not the thing Titans are just all over right now? Triple consecration, pop it, and just go ham, Rock Kvustov to build that meter back up super fast. I mean...
Because we've been playing consecration for the last 6 months, and we're all really, really tired of it.
Well, I mean, the last season, y'all were all playing the Banner of War.
Consecration. Banner of War or Consecration.
I was playing Banner of War. I was
Yeah.
the only
Not just you, bud. I promise it wasn't just you.
Yeah, no, I mean that was basically your choices: Banner of War or Consecration. And I played a lot of Consecration, and I was really excited about Prismatic to not just play more Consecration. And
I mean, it's arguably
fine.
your strongest thing. So if you didn't have Consecration, what would you want to replace it as far as your strongest melee? The Frisbee or what? What would be the option there?
I would use my guns and run with my Twilight axes.
So you want to super spam? Gotcha.
I mean, I just want to do. I want some variety in my gameplay. I am so tired of the kit we have. And
May I
Consecration.
interest you in a hunter, sir?
I mean, like honestly, if I was starting over today, I would take a serious look at it because there's just the differences of what you can do on that class or even the Warlock versus, hey, you can punch things in a lot of different ways. Is just,
I guess that's true.
It's not it.
No,
And
I had so much fun with my Warlock compared to my Titan with Prismatic. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get my Warlock through the campaign the rest of the way. I mean, I did sit down yesterday and unlock the rest of the fragments, run around and do all the various go here, go there, open this chest, open that chest. So at least I have all that stuff done, which I'm so thankful I don't have to redo on the Warlock.
Yeah, you don't have to do it on the rest of the characters. You just have to run through the campaign, which is quite nice. Is that once you've kind of unlocked those prismatics for one of the characters, they're there, or the fragments anyway. The aspects you still have to go through the campaign and get. But yeah, once you've unlocked those aspects, it's fantastic that they're all there and you don't have to kind of do anything else, which is really nice. And saying that with the like going through and playing the campaign again, like on my Warlock, once I had unlocked the prismatic, to then be able to kind of slot the aspects in that I wanted to do a kind of a different build was fantastic to be able to kind of do that and play. And that's what makes, you kind of, we're still doing that through the game, which is quite nice, is that takes a while to go through the game and do like the assist missions to kind of get these extra chests or go off and find the ghost to do these extra things and like the Kvolstov, that is a mission and a half to kind of get all those bits, and that takes some time. And these people that have rushed through,
though, I mean,
honestly,
honestly,
no, I'm not saying it's not, but what we're saying is that the people that have kind of rushed through and got all of the new fantastic shiny stuff are now the ones that are going, well, I've got nothing else to play. It's like, well, you've done it to yourself. You haven't kind of enjoyed yourself. You've kind of forced it. And then I understand with content creators that it is something that they kind of have. Well, they don't have to, but they do so that they can get their reviews out there. They can get their kind of guides out there. So it's a kind of double-edged sword with them. But then they seem to be the ones that moan that, I've got to kind of, I'm not happy that I've got to do this or just there's nothing else to do in the game, and they're complaining that they've got 2 weeks of Iron Banner. There's nothing in Iron Banner that they could just enjoy the game mode. Just go in there and have fun. It's not meant to be a sweat fest. Anyway.
It's also not meant to be your entire life. If you've done everything, you can go do something else. Nitedemon won't like me saying this, but if truly you've played everything that this has to offer, and now you have to wait, a couple of weeks for the next thing, go do something else. Stop complaining there's nothing for you to do just because you've done it all. Many of us have not done anywhere near all of it and still have plenty to get through. Yeah. And this is, rolled out in a perfectly reasonable time frame for those of us whose job is not to cover or play games professionally. There is still loads to do.
There's so much to do in the game. It's fantastic that there's still so much to do, and I'm happy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I kind of disagree, and only because
have you finished your raid though? That's the question. Because we came to you last week and you hadn't finished
yes and
the
no.
raid.
Yeah, yes and no.
No.
Then you have more to do. Get to it. Come on.
Yeah.
So I got all the way to the end boss. We got the boss about halfway a couple of times, and then everybody left. So I didn't make it to the end boss. I have the mechanics down, but finding a team that can do that raid is the hardest thing. And I've advocated for LFG so hard for so long, right? The Discord LFG, I should say, specifically. But I don't know what's going on with this raid, dude. The raid is hard. right? If you're trying to step into this raid, this is one of the harder raids to do, right?
Well, I was going to ask you about that because as the weeks progress, what
Yeah.
I find, and I find with every kind of raid that kind of comes, is that I'm up for it. I'm up for it for the first week or a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And then as the weeks progress, I start to get scared about doing the raids or getting into the raids. And I don't know about you, Peroty. Is it kind of what it seems to be one of those things that everyone's going, oh, it's hard. Like you've just said, this is a hard raid. And that really puts me off even more. And I might not be the only person.
It's fun, though.
I understand that. Raids are fun. Raids are fun, and I do enjoy doing raids. But as the weeks progress and we get further and further into seasons and episodes and echoes and whatever else kind of coming down the line, I get more and more scared about jumping in for the first time because I see all the guides and all the things and all the challenges and everything else that's kind of going on, and I go, well, that's way too much for me to process. I'm not going to touch it now. That's it. It's kind of, unless I'm being carried through it by friends and people that I know, I'm not going to LFG it. And maybe that's something that a lot of other people kind of go through. Peroty, what about you? How do you feel about things like that?
Have you tried it?
No, Peroty probably hasn't.
No, absolutely haven't. I've got the amount of time and just but anyway, my moans have been moaned.
But if you had the time,
but but Demon, I completely agree with what you're saying, and I think a lot of it is, and I fully agree. Admit a lot of this is in my own head. The longer the seasons go, I think the expectation is higher. And again, I have not jumped into raids in a while. Like this is purely in my own brain, but I also am fairly confident if I were to jump into LFGs, this would play out. Where the longer the seasons go, there is an expectation where know what to do, you know what you're doing. And yes, I've watched videos. Yes, I've talked about it. Yes, I understand in theory how to do these things. But as we've talked about in the past, you can watch all the videos in the world. It is still very different than doing it. It is very different than seeing it live. It is very different than going, oh, okay, well, I've heard this explained and I've sort of seen it, but this feels and looks much different to actually do it. So like the longer the seasons go, and it feels more intimidating to jump into it going, I've never done this. And just not wanting to deal with finding a group who doesn't understand that, no, I've never done this. I would love to figure it out. I would love to be a useful cog in this machine, but I'm also not going to raid 50 times a week, and I'm not trying to learn everything to the expert level. So it's like, put me somewhere, give me instructions. I will carry out those instructions. Yeah, it may take me a couple times because I'm not skilled, I'm not experienced in this. And then I just go, or I could go do this other thing over here, and I could have a lot more fun, and the reward for doing it could be a lot more fun. The raid weapons are good and all this, but honestly, and I think this is a decade of playing a looter shooter game, I'm sitting here going, the weapons are good. Like I'm not gonna say the raid weapons are absolutely worth the reward. I saw that you can get triple perks on like the adept ones now in the new raid, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna say that's not worth the work and the grind. It absolutely is. But is the risk and reward worth it for me all the time? No, not really. Because yes, I can get a better weapon, sure, but I have a vault full of weapons. I got loads of weapons. On
the weapon thing, let me touch on a couple things about the raid because I feel like we're putting people off, right?
Well, no, I'm saying that from my personal experience and Peroty's personal experience, this is how we feel as we go further into the season, and I think that's a lot of other people are like that. Is that you'll find a lot of people kind of jump into the raids to start off with, and if you miss that diving off point, you kind of it gets more and more off-putting. The same with the excision mission, the 12-man excision mission. It's like, so what is in there for people to get? It's the Ergo Sum Catalyst and Ascendant Shards. But if you're
and a Prime Engram.
Okay, and a Prime Engram. But
that's not the cherry on top of
the more and more weeks that go, more and more weeks that kind of pass, the less and less people you will find to help you kind of go through that. So it gets more and more off-putting. Like, you're not going to find more and more people that will help you go through it. And the same with the raids. That's what we're kind of saying. We're We're not trying to put people off. We're just putting a voice out there to kind of Bungie or anybody else that's listening that may want to kind of feedback to us that we can kind of talk about on the show. That there are other Guardians out there that feel the same ways, that as the weeks progress, it gets more and more kind of scary to kind of jump into raids with people that kind of say, must know everything, got to do this, got to do that. So that's all we're kind of saying.
Yeah.
But yes, you can carry on with your raid stuff.
Yeah, we're not putting people off rating. That's Bungie's job. Like the number, and I can't find a good source for this, but I've heard and seen a number of times. Like, basically, there's an estimate of between like 11 and 20% of people have ever completed a raid who are Destiny 2 players. And yes, like those numbers will totally be skewed by like the people who've ever completed a raid, pick any raid in the history of Destiny 2 is like 20% like on the high end. Wow. Like it is just not a thing a lot of people are doing for all of the reasons we've mentioned and more. And I'll also fully admit that yes, like these numbers are certainly skewed by, if you're looking like the entire Destiny 2 player base. Yes, some people played the game for whatever however long and just never got to the raid, never wanted to raid, or they didn't play long enough to have any interest in raiding. So yeah, I mean, like those numbers may be skewed, but even so, like that's nowhere near half. Like I've played this game for many, many hours and rated a tiny, tiny percentage of that. And yeah, there's loads of people who just have never completed a raid for all those reasons and more.
But getting into a couple of the aspects that I wanted to talk about, because this raid is hard, right? But it's not every raid has like a lot of parts that are really mechanically intensive, right? But this raid, like, there's a couple of parts where it's just ad clear. Like the encounter. Yeah, I know you said clear, right? And that's I love that, right? But the last mission, like any other raid, it brings you step by step on how to do the mechanics and whatnot, right? I mean, all the raids do that. But the end encounter of the raid is supposed to be an acclamation of all the things it's taught you, right? Well, I mean, it does still kind of do that, but with most of it being like the ad clear aspect of it, when you get to the end, like it just hits you with, okay, so the buff that you're supposed to be getting? Well, now you have to get the buff, but you can't stand in it too long because you don't want a second buff. But if you get that buff, you have to then go over here and shoot that buff. And then you got to stand in the thing to get the buff and shoot the thing to break the thing without actually getting the buff. So you got to stand on your own for a second. I mean, it just... The last encounter is by far the hardest, right? But going on to the weapons, which is kind of what I wanted to go into, the weapons in this raid, I don't find all that impressive. The one and only weapon that I find that's more impressive than any of the other weapons, and I'm including the exotic in this, is the bow. The raid bow is nutty because you can get, what's it called? Would you jolt people after a kill? What's that called?
Jolt?
No. The perk that when you kill Volt Shot. Thank you. Damn, that's in the name. Yes, it's a bow with Volt Shot, and then there's all kinds of things on this bow that will increase the speed at which you fire, but decrease your draw time. Right, so you can fire off these arrows all the time. It is legit a legendary version of the.
You can use his words. Come on.
Yeah, I just forget the damn names of these things. I ain't seen in a long time. And I get so excited, I start tripping over my own words. Hold on, I'll find it. Trinity Goal. The Trinity Goal. It's a legendary version of the Trinity Goal. The bow is so good. And I'm so upset that I've done the raid. I've done each individual encounter multiple times. I haven't been able to cross that finish line, though, And I'm only getting armor, and I've gotten one raid pulse rifle. I'm not getting any of the weapons. And even like the perk pool sounds nice. I'm like, oh, it's an aggressive burst, not aggressive burst. It's a 2-round burst, pulse rifle. So it's really good and this and that and the other. And that's what I thought too. I thought it'd be hitting really hard, but it kind of doesn't. Like it's lackluster. The freaking blast furnace is a better pulse rifle in my opinion. Yeah, you can get a heal kill on this thing or heal incandescent, but the perk might be good, but the weapon is not. So okay, you can get triple perks on these weapons, but are the weapons any good? Not really, honestly. The bow is great, and the exotic is kind of cool. It's a little niche, right? But in the end, the weapons just kind of are meh in my opinion. And there's going to be people out there that are going to be like, oh no, if you do this, you can get this. I get that. You know, there's obviously info that I don't have, but from what I've seen, from what I've, you know, observed, even people in the raid aren't really using the raid weapons. You know, so you know everybody's rocking double special, either double special rocket sidearms or one rocket sidearm and an ergo sum, and then a heavy of some kind. You know, hardly anybody's using any of the raid weapons, so it's a cool raid. But I wouldn't stress about getting it done because there's really not a big carrot at the end of this stick, in my opinion, aside from just saying that you did it because it's hard. So. I mean, and then there's really good Sherpas out there. There's a guy that was working with me and my brother was completely hammered. And I hate it when he's like that. And this dude had infinite patience. And he sent me a friend request and we hang out after that. And he's run me through a couple more of the encounters and whatnot. He is so knowledgeable and he's so good at the raid. And he's got the patience of a saint, possibly even Saint 14. I don't know. He's a hunter main.
Well, no, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there. There are definitely people out there, and if you find them, they are kind of a diamond in the rough because they are fantastic to help. And I'd love to help people, you know, get to the point where I was in Destiny 1, helping people go through raids. Even back as far as the beginning of Destiny 2 with the Leviathan, we would run people through the Leviathan and kind of do the Eater of the Worlds and Spire of the Stars and things like that. But as time has gone on, my kind of involvement with the raids has kind of decreased, and for me it gets scarier and scarier to jump in. But if you can find those people that will help you and teach you and take you through this, it's fantastic to find them.
There's a Sherpa channel inside of the Discord LFG, and now that even PlayStation has a Discord now, there's really no reason not to use it. The Owl Sector Alliance is good, don't get me wrong. Owl Sector Alliance, from what I've come across, and you guys absolutely correct me if I'm wrong, is more of a, we're going to do this at this day, at this time kind of thing, and then it's a better way to organize events. You know, whether it's an exotic 12-man activity or a raid or whatever, it's really good at organizing things. But if you need a team on the fly and you're looking for something specific, the Discord LFG has like exotic quests. You can go in there and see a whole bunch of people doing exotic quests. There's raids, and they have them broken up by each individual raid. So you're not going in looking for a Salvation's Edge, but everyone wants to do Vow. You know, they are specific channels for specific raids. I mean, it's really well organized, that LFG. You know, so absolutely go in. There's Sherpas. There's a Sherpa channel. You know, it's not always, oh, you must know what you're doing or you're going to get kicked. There's absolutely Sherpa channels in there, right? So check it out. If you want to do the raid, don't be afraid to do the raid. It's a really fun experience. It is hard, I think, but it's fun. And then, like I said, when you beat it, you do have that sense of accomplishment. It's the, oh my God, we finally did it. And it's a feel-good feeling. It's a feel-good moment, for sure. So, I mean, give it a shot. Don't let us scare you or anything like that. And even if the weapons aren't the best, you know, it's still got good perks.
There are other raids you can go to, and and the Outsider Alliance LFG like uses the 100.io website, which the entire point is, hey, I want to do a thing at this date and time. Let me collect people for that date and time. Exactly. So I mean the entire thing is, you can absolutely say, hey, I'm on now. Let's see if we can get a group together. But it's also, hey, Tuesday night, I've got the whole evening free, got the house to myself. I want to go raid. Let's set some things up. And you should give people the link to the Destiny LFG so we can put it in the show notes. And then other people know where the Destiny LFG is. Or the Discord LFG.
It's already in the show notes. Oh, I've given it to y'all so many times. It should already be in there.
You've got to put it back in there.
It's a permanent staple, though, I thought. Is it not in there anymore? Did y'all take it out?
Well, since I don't know what the link is, I can't really tell you.
Okay. Give me a second.
And it's also nice if people are listening to the show and they go, oh, I'd like to check that out. We can make sure it's there. And,
well, I've given it to Demon before, and he used to put it in the show notes. That's why I'm confused.
No, but it's in the magic notes of the on the actual page, you know, where I said for all our links, you can now go to our, go to the website, click at the top with the document, and the document gives you all the kind of guides. And I've tried to keep it updated this past week with final shape stuff and take out some of the older kind of guides that were for kind of the old seasons. So if I've missed anything, please let me know. So, or if you want something included in there or you find something that's helpful for other Guardians that I've kind of missed, then I will include it in there. But yeah, but for every week, we like to keep people up to date with whatever we've talked about. So I'll put it back in the show notes if it's there.
All right, I'll put it in the chat. Oh, that's the wrong Discord.
Good,
I'll
good.
put it right here, right now.
If you make it easy for people, they'll do it.
Well, I mean, I've done it before. I never knew y'all took it out. That's why I'm it's in there now, but we had it there before because we've had this conversation before. And my memory is bad, so if I remember this,
Right.
I know it happened.
Right. But I'm saying, like, if just because you talked about it before, it's nice if you're going to put a link, if you're going to talk about it in the
genuinely,
episode.
that's what I'm saying. That's the whole point.
Speaking of links, one that I will put in this week's is the challenge for this week's first encounter for the Salvation's Edge, because I went to all our regular channels and nobody's got a guide on it apart from Kimber Prime, and it's a very short video. I think it's about 2 minutes long. Very easy. So if you know the encounter, the first encounter, it tells you what to do with the challenge mode. It sounds pretty easy from what I've kind of seen and heard. But, it'll be in our show notes from Kimber Prime this week if you want to do the challenge. Although I don't know what the challenge is for, like, until they're actually released and people do them. So I do apologize that we haven't kind of got guides ahead of time. Because
Well, what do you mean you don't know how hard it is? It's just there's going to be 2 overloads that spawn, and they spawn in staggered spawns. One spawns and then the other. So
yeah, no, I said it looks and sounds easy. From what I've seen, is that you kind of just wait. Apparently, so yeah. It's all right. It's fine. We've got that covered.
Well,
but what I'm saying is I don't
wait.
know what
You are getting killed by it while you're waiting, but
I don't know what the second encounter's challenge is going to be, or the third encounter, or the fourth, or the fifth ahead of time. I think there's, if you look through kind of the database, it gives you the name of it or gives you a clue to what it is or what it's called, but it doesn't actually tell you how to do it. People have to still figure things out. So yeah, but yeah. One thing that I did come across whilst kind of scrolling through YouTube this week, looking for some videos and guides and things for people, was I came across a really old video from Aztecross going over like where one of Salter Greppo's teammates got banned from the game for cheating in Destiny. And it was something I was going to ask you guys on the show. And I'm not calling anyone a cheat or anything else like that, but I'm just going over like the facts that we kind of got Bungie banned. I think it's been 2 now of the guys that kind of beat previous raids have, after the raids have kind of come out, they've been banned from playing Destiny 2. And I was just wondering, because nobody kind of talks about it after the fact, we've had our raid race and Salter Greppo and his team and Datto and his team were kind of up there. And then suddenly this other team came swooping in and kind of beat the raid way ahead of them. What I was wondering was that Salter Greppo's team, it must have had a knock-on effect for those members to have kind of been banned over I think it must have been, there was one banned before the previous raid and then one banned after, just before kind of the Salvation's Edge. So it must have had a knock-on effect to their team composition and how they played. And I was just wondering what you guys thought about it, if anything.
I'm not really keeping up with it, dude. I have no opinion on it. Honestly, I don't get into Destiny drama because playing the game is drama enough for me.
Well, no, it's not Destiny drama. What I'm saying is that the 2 members of the Salter Greppo teams that we know that had beaten the raids previously had been banned from Destiny for cheating in the game. And there were certain different things that they were doing. And it was just weird that it kind of came up on a timeline that Aztecross looked at it, I think, when it actually happened. And I just wondered to myself, I thought, did that actually play into them not being able to complete the raid as quick as they kind of... I'm not saying that they cheated before, but I'm saying...
It would have to, though.
I'm saying that person was obviously a key member of their team. Whether they cheated or not during that raid encounter and whether Salter Greppo knew about it, what I'm saying is that they were a key member of the team, that it seemed to be hard for them to be replaced, for them to beat this raid. And I'm wondering if they were...
how they cheated?
Banned.
The cheating is not the point. The whole thing is, it just like, look at a basketball team. You've got 5 people that go out on the court. They've got good chemistry. Yeah. They know where each other are going to be. You've got 6 people in a raid. You've got good chemistry. People you've raided with or played with forever. Like you have a sixth sense. You know what they're going to do. You know what they're going to bring. I don't have to worry about them. They're going to stay alive. They're going to handle this part. But like we've got a shorthand. We've got callouts we can use.
I think they know what they're doing as a team, kind of cohesion kind of thing. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two parts of this. I mean, one is I think it's fun. The raid race is fun because on it is sort of like, I mean, it's nerd sports. On any given day, any team of 6 people can beat any other team of 6 people. Because it's just, hey, you wiped here, they didn't wipe here. Hey, you got through this a little bit quicker. Hey, you had a strat or a synergy that was working a little, that 0.001% improvement you're able to make somewhere. It makes all the difference in the end. So I think it's fun from, and also, and they're not streaming. They're not, having all these people watching them and all this pressure of, oh, I'm a popular person being watched by all these people. And I think that's part of it. Of, sort of some of that stress not being there because you're not, maybe you've got people, in your Discord or whatever, letting you know, hey, so-and-so is here. Hey, these guys are here. So you can maybe have a general sense, or maybe they just went heads down and said, we're not going to look at what anybody else is doing. We're just going to burn through this. We're just going to sit down and do it. Or maybe they said, hey, we're going to have people, have our friends go out and say, hey, these folks are doing this. This is how they're doing. Hey, the first guides come out. This is what it says. Like we talked about last week or week before, going, did you start from the drop, or did you say, hey, we work during the day. We're not available for a couple of hours. Let's get whatever intel's out there now, go into it with that added knowledge and see how we do. And I think it's, so I mean, the thing that there's part of that is just, on any given raid race, I mean, it comes down to tiny little things here and there that may make the difference or not.
Yeah, I think it's kind of skewed, hasn't it, over the years with the fact that you're watching raid races live. So anybody could watch your strats and go kind of get what you're doing, replicate that. If they're a good enough team, take it into their own encounter and get ahead of you if they can then figure out the next part of it and carry, leapfrog each other. And then it doesn't become fun to watch because then you've got kind of black screens or you're just kind of watching their reactions playing the game like it was towards the end. And then you have this other team kind of swoop in that aren't streaming that just kind of wipe the floor with you kind of. And that's another thing, isn't it? This kind of, but yeah, I did kind of wonder about the sort of Grappo group. It's like that must have really played in heavily to the factor that they hadn't kind of. I mean, they must have other people that could have stepped in throughout the times that they were kind of doing their raid races beforehand. But that core members of the group, obviously, kind of they work together, they gel together, they kind of play the game inside and out, kind of work things out. And yeah, I think I was just wondering if it had that knock-on effect.
Well, like I said earlier, before y'all had the whole conversation, it would have to. If you're with a team and you have the cohesion, you lose one of your members, it's going to affect the team. Just how it is. Even if somebody else is as good as that guy is, just the camaraderie, just the trust, just there's other aspects that play into it that would affect the team dynamic, right? It's like, okay, I know this guy is good, but how do I know he works well with us, right? It's a new guy or it's a replacement guy. I mean, there could be feelings involved. There could be, maybe that was some guy's friend and he's upset that some other guy is now here, quote, replacing him. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. I would be surprised if it didn't affect the team dynamic, honestly speaking.
Yeah. It was just something that popped up on my timeline. I thought we can have a discussion about it this week. That was
I appreciate it.
Yeah, honestly, and I thought it was fun that it was someone. It wasn't one of the teams that have won 1,000 times. It was someone. Everyone was going, "Who? Who are these people?" They weren't even streaming it. Yeah, because it's a race. Like at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day that gets lost a little bit. It's like, no, I'm trying to do this first. I'm not trying to do this first and have the most people watching. I'm just trying to do this first. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of I wish it would kind of go back to the days of kind of Destiny 1 where you didn't see what was happening. You knew there was a raid race on, but there wasn't kind of anything being shown, so that it was a genuine raid race that nobody could watch anybody else's strats, and it was kind of this team actually figured out each encounter by themselves and got through it, and they've completed it legitimately. And Bungie do their checks, of course, and say it's legitimate, but it's without the kind of the possibility of other people watching and copying what you've done.
Nitedemon's out here calling everybody illegitimate for all the raid races that they won since then. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. I mean, there is some aspect of that of going, and again, everyone's going to approach this differently. They're all going to approach this with different ways and different strats. And yeah, we want to go heads down and figure it out. We want to go, send our friends or followers out and go, tell me what other people are doing, and let's crowdsource this. I mean, that's half the fun. It's you're trying to get to the end. However you can do it within the confines of the game.
And I do kind of feel sorry for sort of Greppo, because even if you didn't know anything about the cheater in your group and what they were doing, or cheaters as they were, like multiple, there was a couple of them over the years, that it then puts the pressure on you as well, because you're probably then under a microscope of Bungie watching you and your team, because they don't know you personally, they don't know whether you're involved in that cheating, or that cheating could have influenced anything kind of to do with raid races and things. So it puts a lot more pressure on you and your team to be under a fine microscope. I mean, if you don't do anything, then you haven't got anything to worry about it. But I think that extra added pressure of kind of making sure that the people that you bring into your team aren't doing anything that is kind of gonna cause your team to be kind of disqualified is another thing, because you may know somebody for years, but you don't really know that person, kind of thing.
And there's got to be some part in the back of your mind, even if you're sitting here going, I know, I've played with you, I know this, like I know you are the person, whatever. But like, there's got to be part of the back of your mind going, well, we won this, but was it legitimate? Like obviously, like Bungie's going to look and say, yeah, this is fine, but if it were me, it would always be part of me in the back of my head going, like, did we really do this because of this, or was there something less than, cheating or enhancing in some way going on? But
because there's been so many things over the years with like Destiny content creators kind of, and people saying, I've played with this person for years, and then I didn't know they were like that. I didn't know they did this, and it's like, you're not meant to know that they were like that or did this. This is somebody that you've kind of met through a game, or you've played with for X amount of years, but you don't know them inside and out. You don't know what somebody's capable of. And I think we've had that recently with that. Is it Dr. Disrespect as well? There's so much hoo-ha this week, and I saw Aztecross did a reaction video to that's got nothing to do with Destiny, so I didn't even click on it. But I'm like, people that
you're so pure, Nitedemon.
I am. But it's like, people have known. I mean, I've heard of Dr. Disrespect, but never actually kind of watched anything that he's done. But he's been in the public eye for such a long time, and then suddenly something's come out about him, and it's like, that's it, kind of end of career kind of thing. And
that's as much as we're going to talk about that whole thing.
Yes, because it's nothing to do with Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, since we're sort of on the topic of videos and things, I want to just mention two really quickly that are both from Cheese Forever that stopped me, because I was sitting here going, the first one is, warning, do not use Warlock reputation glitch Gambit doubles rep. And also, stop, do not farm GM Grandmaster Nightfall's Glassway or Vanguard Strikes this week. And basically the whole thing is, Warlocks are not getting as much XP as Titans and Hunters from, everything where you get XP from. The Warlocks are just not receiving the same amount. And he goes into the exact numbers. So it's, it was happening with the double XP, or the double, the Gambit double rep last week. And it's going on with, the GMs and stuff this week. So it's just Warlocks are simply not getting enough experience. So Bungie has nerfed Warlock experience gains. So sorry, Warlocks.
Not getting enough. It's not that they're not getting enough. It's worse than that. And they're not even getting like the standard amount. They're getting less than what you would normally get if it wasn't a bonus XP weekend. You know what I'm saying? It is.
XP's been nerfed.
It's pretty rough.
It just, I just wonder, and I go, who isn't somebody responsible for looking into the how did this happen? How did someone put in the if Warlock then give them this thing? I mean, and the answer is there's a trillion vastly complex systems, but I just looked at that and sort of laughed and then groaned to myself, going, "Oh, why Bungie?"
Honestly speaking, they should have done it to the Titans. I mean, come on.
Oh, well, sir, don't worry, because the big problem is the Prismatic Titan from Data this week, and TDT has the Destiny 2 Titan problem: identity crisis and class balance analysis.
Yep, and Astacross. Apparently, all the Titan mains are up in arms about it.
Well, I mean, Data sort of did a nice, sort of like the 10,000 foot view coverage of like, hey, this is sort of where the class is and where Prismatic is. And then TDT did actually a really in-depth breakdown of like every single part of the kit, every single part of the class. And basically, comes to the conclusion of the Titan is basically outmatched, out-damaged, and out everything every step of the way. Like, no matter what combination you play with, he's like, or you can go on Warlock and Hunter, and you're better every single time with every single combination.
Tornado?
Every single time and every single combination. And like he's not just looking at DPS. He's looking at like just the class utility and everything you can do with it.
Oh, but utility wise, y'all suck.
But but he breaks it down. But then also at the end, sort of tries to provide some answers. Tries to provide it's not just moaning. It's moaning, but also, hey, and this is someone who, he's a Warlock main. Like, he's not a Titan main. He's like, as a Warlock main, we've had our fair shares of ups and downs, but here's, sort of his analysis of where the Titan is right now. And I've seen a couple other people putting out, like, some like what you could do for Titan things. So, I wasn't trying to put a lot of moaning videos in, but just, I really enjoyed TDT's breakdown of, like, here's all of the pieces and parts of this class, and where they just don't stack up to the counterparts. So,
did you see the other video that I was going to include this week from Cheese Forever? That if you are kind of doing your Kvostov and you're trying to find the different bosses in the areas so that you can do the overthrows in, he did the thing of rezoning in. Once you've kind of got the boss to spawn, I think he said if you're doing it solo, you can respawn, rezone into that area, and 33% of the time it will change the boss for you. So if you need a specific boss to check off, in his testing, he managed to kind of change the meatball to another boss in his video. And I'll put that in the show notes because that was quite interesting, because it's a bit like going around and double dipping with the kind of public events, but it works with if you're doing solo on your onslaughts.
Nice.
Not onslaughts. Overthrows. That's the ones.
Yeah, that's another quest line I need to figure out where I am in it for the Kvostov and go, I've been doing a lot of random things. Which of these are actually contributing to something, and where am I?
Yeah.
There's a lot of icons on the Pale Heart, and I'm going, okay, you're the Pathfinder ones. Those I can ignore and just do them as I get there. What are all these other icons I need to go and click on and do things near?
So we've kind of been beating around the bush, dancing around the bush, and avoiding the bush. But we've got to talk about the bush. It's Iron Banner. Double Iron Banner.
Oh, I thought we were talking. I thought we were getting sexual about this. I was like, what are we talking about?
Hiding in the bushes, waiting for someone to walk by, shoot them with a Kvostov.
And then surprise, double Iron Banner. So yes, we're talking about this week in Destiny, or the TWAB, for the 27th of June, 2024. And this week in Destiny, we are getting ready for Saladin to come back to the tower. Not with vengeance, thankfully, but with his Iron Banner for 2 weeks. I am so excited for 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm going to jump straight into this. That you got, instead of getting just 1 week of Iron Banner, we're going to get 2 weeks back to back. And you're not losing out on trials, people. There's a tweet out there that Bungie have kind of put out there from the Destiny 2 teams explaining their reasons why. But you're still going to get the same amount of trials. We're not taking trials away from you. But what I could see happening is maybe a week of trials, because that I would be interested in. Because for somebody that can only play a little bit during the week each day, can't get on at the weekend, maybe because of work and family commitments, can't play that much trials, a week of trials would be nice, Bungie. Hey, you just...
Why does trials have to go away? Like, at all?
Nobody said it had to go away. Bungie made this change a couple of seasons back.
They did, but why is that even a thing?
Because
some people want to play trials all the time. Just let them. Why take it away? If anything...
I'm not taking it away. Don't throw this at my direction. I'm not taking it away.
I'm saying in general.
You are saying that I'm taking it away from my Iron Banner. Making me
Right.
angry.
And that's another thing. They don't have to be segregated like that either, right? There's a community, I don't know why, but there's a PvP community in this game that are psychopaths. Let them have their fun, dude.
What about Iron Trials?
Trials Banana.
Trials.
Iron
banner.
Trials. Give them Iron Banner and
Trials
Trials mixed together. Trials Banana mixed together for a week. If you're experimenting, Bungie, mix it, change it up. Give us,
But how
give
would
us
you do
everything.
that? Would that be like a 6v6 trials?
Yeah, why not?
12-man trials, every man for himself, King of the Hill style.
Oh, Rumble trials. That's interesting. Hold up. Peroty just hit the nail on the head. Right.
Big-
Trials Rumble?
Big team battle, trials rumble. 12 men enter, 1 man leave.
Yeah.
Bro.
Do that 7 times in a row, you get to go flawless.
I would absolutely try that. Hell yeah. Banner mayhem. Anyway.
So to begin with, Iron Banner will now be a 2-week event and the main PvP focus for that time. So they say will now be a 2-week event, but it's a trial thing. It's not like it's going to be forever, because like last season and the season before, where we kind of had the choice of, do you want to play trials, whatever we tell you it is, or there's a secret drop down box so you can go back to control. Do you want to do that? We're not doing that anymore. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to give you a 1 week of Iron Banner control. And then the next week, we're going to force you to do the one that we want you to do if you're continuing to play. I would have preferred maybe the other way around, but hey ho, we're just or maybe here's the thought, Bungie, mix it up, just throw it in there, into a rotator. So some games it's controls, some games it's something else, but less of the something else, maybe. So more games of control because people do enjoy control. Or hear me out, a voting system. I vaguely remember there was this game that you kind of made, must have been about 15, 16 years ago, that you could play a PvP map and you could vote, and just throwing it out there that could have, if you're trialing things, let's just throw everything in the trial section. Not Trials of Osiris, but just trialing Iron Banner stuff.
In labs, you've got labs. You can put lab things in the
Iron
labs.
Labs. Yeah, let's that's it. No. I've scrapped everything. It's Iron Banner. The whole thing, the whole week for 2 weeks is Iron Banner. So you've got Iron Banner Rumble, you've got Iron Banner Rift, you've got Iron Banner Control, you've got Iron Banner Doubles, you've got Iron Banner whatever it is, just in PvP, and then the next week, trials everything. Just everything trials. Just give all the rewards in all the areas.
Sorry, I'm bleeding from my ears. There's a whole lot of PvP talk right now, and it's making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm excited for trials, but also a little afraid because I stepped into PvP this past week, and it's not good. Hopefully, some of the changes they're making this week will at least scare people off some of the weapons they've been using a little bit. But man, it was just like the worst combination of all the metas combined. It was the hand cannon meta, it was the auto rifle meta, and it was the Red Death meta, all combined.
Ooh, the Red Death, yeah.
And you're just going, well, I was here, and now I'm not here anymore.
Not a whole lot of Kavastovs? I thought that would be like the thing, since Bungie immediately nerfed it.
Sorry, I say auto rifle, but what I mean is Kavastov.
Oh,
because those were the same words, that it's the same picture kind of situation. Yeah, no, I actually didn't see as many Kavastovs because I was too busy dying to everything else's.
To be honest, I haven't been in Crucible at all, so I'm quite looking forward to going playing Iron Banner next week. But I'm going to go through their reasoning why we're not going to get Iron Banner for 1 week with a drop-down box of control or whatever the other mode is, right? And you two, if this sounds familiar, chime in, okay? So they don't want the drawback meant that this was not sustainable over a long-term period, with running 2 different modes back to back felt extraneous. So they're returning to the previous system of 1 mode each week. So when you had Iron Banner solo playlist and Iron Banner 6v6 playlist, and you thought that that was a bad idea, so you amalgamated them all into one. Did you think that it was going to work again when you split the? No, I honestly don't know why they kind of do this. It's just that they say they want a more. They don't want all these different playlists all over the place. Yet then they split the playlists so many times again by going, right, you can either play Control or you can play Tribute or Fortress or something, or you can be in the solo kind of list, solo playlist if you're running solo, so that you don't get matched up against 6 stacks to kind of be destroyed. And then they kind of worked out the matchmaking to kind of go, well, if you're all solo players, we'll put you all together in that match made, so that you're all kind of in the same kind of playlist, or we'll match people of, 1s and 2s together, or 3s and 3s, so on and so forth. But then you split it again and create the same problem for yourself, if you see what I mean. It doesn't make sense that they keep doing
Isn't that what I was just talking about why not just let them play their game mode, be done with it, let Trials stay open, let Iron Banner stay open, I don't know. Iron Banner,
the problem that they don't
loot. I guess maybe it's a loot thing, but I don't know. I mean, what's the difference between Iron Banner and normal just 6v6s? Maybe that's where I'm getting lost. Trials, I get the 3v3 with the loot at the end, very coveted, sure. But aside from the loot, what is the difference between standard 6v6 and Iron Banner?
You have Lord Saladin shouting at you rather than Lord Shax.
I'm being serious. Is that literally the only difference?
Game modes, depending on
There's loot as well.
It's
There is
Control.
kind of loot.
Yeah, unless it's Control game modes, and honestly, just the fact that it's not up, there's some value to having something not be available all the time. Like Nessus has been in the game for how many years, and until this expansion, when was the last time anybody visited Nessus? Like, it can be there, and nobody will ever touch it. But if it's there on a limited time basis, there is some, hey, it's up for now, let me go play it. That's why they're doing the rotators on the raids and dungeons things. If they were just there all the time, people would blow through them in the first week and then never go back to them again. If it's here for a limited time, that's your reason. That's the carrot on the end of your stick is, hey, it's here this week, go do it this week, and then it's gone next week, and then it'll be back again. So there's some value to that. But I'm with Nitedemon on the whole. We've got 6,000 versions. I think the problem is we've got 6,000 versions of PvP, but to most people, unless you're a PvP main, it might as well just look like a skull and crossbones in different colors and different parts of the screen. In none of them are where I would say, hey, if you just want to go and have a casual time for PvP or try it out or try to get better, there's nowhere I can send you. There is no number of people I can say to play with. It's just you're probably going to have a bad experience across the board. Iron Banner, and maybe this is my own delusion, feels like a little bit of the, hey, it's Iron Banner. It's up for a limited time. It's sort of an event. There's other things to chase. Maybe more people are going in and just making the community numbers higher. So it's not quite such a sweat fest. But PvP has the identity crisis of, we're touching it and we're looking at it again from the Bungie side, but it's just, it all looks the same. It's different game modes, but it's pain no matter where you go. And I feel like there's no progression to it. There's no like, hey, if you just want to go and like not get stomped by sweat lords. Andy and I set foot into the new doubles mode because I wanted to try it out because I had the Crimson doubles mechanic of basically stay near your teammate and you're good. Wander away from your teammate and bad things happen. And we played 3 matches. 2 of the first one was fine. It felt well matched. It was a good fight between the 2 of us and 2 of them. The next one was against a team that just we were just going mercy us, just waiting for the mercy to happen. The games that were breaking up teams put us back in against the exact same 2 players. After the fact, Andy messaged me and he's like,
"You say that?"
Yeah, exact. There's only 4 of us. You couldn't found person 5 and 6. I know Australia is a small nation, but come on, I believe in you. There's more people than that. But after that, Andy looked up one of the 2 guys we played with. He's like, that dude was flawless 181 times. Now, in what world should I or Andy be in anywhere near a lobby with a guy who's been flawless 181 times?
Yeah, but if
doubles is not trials. Doubles is not endgame.
If you got to look from the other side, that poor guy with his 180 odd wins in trials,
Yeah.
hasn't got
playing
anybody
these
else
idiots.
to face. He hasn't got anybody else to face, so it's kind of gone, well,
Yeah.
these are the only other two people that are crazy enough to play this game mode. We're going to have to match them back up.
Yeah. Simply, this is the best move. This is the best we can do. I feel like I would rather sit in orbit long enough to say there is nobody here for you to fight, versus it going, well, here's a match. You're both going to have a really miserable time with it because he's just going to wipe the floor with you, and you're going to get, have the floor wiped with your face. But we found you a match. Maybe that's not the metric we should be going for. And again, like this is just the same PvP discussion over and over again of you're never going to find the perfect match for everything. But I feel like a lot of it would be solved if there was just some level of progression, some level of cap of again, like what some games do and say, hey, you're a newer player, your KD is this, or your light level is this, or your number of games played is this. Let's let you be over here, away from all of the gods of the Iron Banner and the PvP lords. Like, I'm not saying I should never face them, but if I'm just like, there's places I'm facing you where this is not helping anybody. Anyway, it's getting into the PvP moans again, and that's just not gonna.
But I think
That's
the thing
well
is
covered.
with Iron Banner, it slightly feels different to regular control. There are control elements in there, and we have the different game modes. And some game modes are enjoyed a lot more, and some aren't enjoyed. But it kind of gives you a 6v6 kind of different version of a PvP experience. And I think originally Iron Banner was a very unique thing, and then they kind of made it into this pinnacle thing that then they've not made it pinnacle now. I mean, you can get pinnacles from it, but it's like the light level doesn't matter now. The only thing that light level matters is in trials, that's their pinnacle kind of thing. So if you are below, like, is it 2010, you are kind of really hurting now going into trials.
You're going to be below 2010 because your artifact doesn't count in trials, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. You need to get your pinnacles to get in there to play. But Iron Banner it used to be like that, but it's now not.
Yeah, but without your pinnacle, even with your pinnacles, you're only as high as 2000. Can't get 2010.
Oh, yeah?
What am I missing?
Okay.
What am I
Sorry,
missing, man?
I thought 2000 was the powerful cap, and then you could go higher than that.
I haven't seen
2010
anything
with-
higher than 2000 on any one yet. Even
Okay,
raids,
maybe it's me then.
so-
Maybe it's me not when I was listening to something else today. But yeah, I mean, Iron Banner has always kind of felt unique, and it's always been nice to have it for that 1 week. And I'm being spoilt with it being here for 2 weeks. But then I like the idea that it's going to be here for 2 weeks. I will, hopefully guild my title in that time, and I'll get my shader and I'll get my emblem, which look really cool. We have for our emblem, it's called the Ollie Wocket. It's got a wolf on it that's in a kind of little flame, and it's a very cool wolf looking. And then I'm not entirely kind of sold on the shader. I can't remember what it's called now. I've got a little. It's called Hammer Shock, and it looks like the green and the brown that you find on like the claws of the wolf, which is the weapon that is returning. So that kind of dirty brown and dirty green kind of colouring, but new stuff to get in Iron Banner.
It won't matter. Every hunter is still super black.
Or super white. There are some people out there that like to blind people.
Yeah,
Remember when you and I were having that conversation, and I was the new
Mhm.
prismatic armor I put on Trials of the Nine, which is not one you can get anymore, and it was blindingly white. I was like, oh my god.
that
That
and
is
oiled
crazy.
algae.
I feel that I know Bungie is saying that this is another experiment from them with kind of doing the 2 weeks, and it'll be 2 weeks back to back, and then you'll have like 8 to 9 weeks of trials again, and then another 2 weeks of Iron Banner, and that's it. That's all we're getting for Iron Banner. So rather than kind of Iron Banner and then another 4 weeks of trials, and then Iron Banner and another 4 weeks of trials, you're still getting the same amount of trials, and you're still getting the same amount of Iron Banners for. I say a season, but for an episode, I guess, which seems less than the normal because we had the extended Iron Banners last season, but now it's kind of the episodes are longer, but we're getting shorter amount of Iron Banners. But hey ho, that's what we're kind of getting. But it does sound from kind of reading in the TWAB this week that they're going to give you control.
Oh.
So you're going to get a lot of people going there and play control that like Iron Banner control, because that is the one that a lot of people pick. And I think they want to find out how many people are going to go in and voluntarily play Tribute the following week. And then if we get another 2 weeks of Iron Banner somewhere else down the line, is it going to be Fortress 1 week and then Eruption the next week? Or is it going to be Control and one of the other ones? And how many people play each of those? And then they'll kind of work out what they would kind of want to do with that. But I don't know. Is
the lowest PvP numbers either do that week you just described.
I don't know what they could do to change the game modes to get more people excited to go in and play.
Make it not PvP.
But yeah, that's what we're getting. So we are getting some renewed weapons. We have the Criminal's Dagger hand cannon. It's 120 RPM, aggressive frame. So it's high damage, high recoil, optimized for long distance shooting. It comes with the Skulking Wolf perk, and it also comes with the Hake Breach armaments. So the Skulking Wolf is while at low health, Guardian final blows with this weapon grant enhanced radar and remove you from the opposing radar. And the Hake Breach is this weapon deals increased damage against vehicles and constructs. And constructs include barricades, turrets, stasis crystals, and other objects created in the field. It can roll with Enlightened Action, Slideways, Air Trigger, Strategist, Moving Target, and Outlaw, with Kill Clip, Explosive Payload, Zen Moment, Opening Shot, Adagio, and Precision Instrument, and a variety of barrels and kind of other things to help you kind of max out whatever you kind of want. And then you can also enhance these weapons, so you can make them super weapons.
You say that I'm still getting some of these weapons where when you enhance it, it doesn't enhance it. So some of the
Intrinsic
Iron Banner weapons, I still have the freaking Falling Guillotine that I spent all the resources on it. It's quote enhanced, but they're still surrounded in red, and you can't pick them. You can't do anything. It's not actually enhanced. Even though you spent the mats.
Did you level the weapon up enough
to level it up.
Apply them?
Yes, it's leveled up to the max level. Right, it's level like 24 something. It's definitely higher than 17. Right.
Just checking.
Yeah, and then I also got all 3 levels of the what should we call it? The enhancement levels. You know what I mean? I got all 3 levels of those too. They're surrounded in red. Like you can select them to enhance them, but you can't. It's just broken. And I know how to enhance. I enhanced all these other weapons. That one broke, and then a couple of my Iron Banner ones broke. What?
Have you filed a ticket with Bungie? Bungie help? Hashtag Bungie help?
No.
But now's not the time to moan. Anyway, getting back to the weapons. Claws of the Wolf, the pulse rifle. It's a rapid fire frame. It is deeper ammo reserve, slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. And that one is a 540 RPM. And it has decided not to align with any faction. So all you get is Skulking Wolf on there. But you can have Head Seeker, Repulsor Brace, To the Pain, Elemental Capacitor, Snapshot Sights, Perpetual Motion, with Rampage, Kill Clip, Destabilizing Rounds, Disruptor Break, Attrition Orbs, and Zen Moment.
I'm hearing a lot of the same weapons we've had time and time again. Is there anything new?
They're renewed. They're renewed, just like they took the Criminal's Dagger and gave it some love. You know, they say small bumps to its stats. They upped its stability and handling from 23 to 31. The magazine size, they gave you another round in there, and your airborne effectiveness is 21 instead of 10. So see, they made changes.
Yeah, for the Claws of the Wolf, the Rampage is new, the Destabilizing Rounds and the Disruptor Break is new, and the Attrition Orbs is new on there, and even Zen Moments.
Disruptor Break on a PvP weapon is pretty good, I guess.
That's also new, the Zen Moment, because on the previous iteration that we had back in, I think it was season 4, we had Grave Robber, full auto system, rangefinder, high impact reserves, and Kill Clip on there. Oh, sorry, they did have Rampage on there, sorry. And then we had Threat Detector, Field Prep on there, Slide Shots, and then the other ones that we had before. But they said they have changed some of the perks on there, which is quite nice. And the same with Criminal's Dagger. Criminal's Dagger, I think it was season 2 that they said that it was around. So it's, or was it before that? I can't remember. Criminal. Let me just double check. Oh no, we had season 2 Criminal Dagger, season 11 Criminal's Dagger, and now we've got season 24. So Criminals has been around the block a couple of times, whereas Claws of the Wolf has only been, this is the second time it's been around. So I think they are missing a trick of not actually bringing back some of the old Destiny 1 Iron Banner weapons, because those ones, when we had Rise of Iron, were very unique and very cool weapons, weren't they? You guys remember these ones that we had?
I
They
remember
looked-
Rise of Iron, but I don't remember what specific weapon you're talking about.
I don't remember most of Destiny 1, so no.
They looked kind of forged out of metal. They were kind of. I'm trying to find a weapon now, just so I can. Which one would have been a pulse rifle? I would have kept a pulse rifle, definitely. And it would have been the Clever Dragon. That was it. That was the pulse rifle. And if you look at the Clever Dragon,
Was that the fast fire, the really fast firing one?
yeah,
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. Now who
Destiny
can't find stuff? Yeah,
Because
it's funny when it happens to me, huh?
that's why.
well, I'm trying to pull up an image of it, but it had the kind of trying to describe it. It was
It was a pulse rifle with Iron Banner stuff on it.
no, but they had kind of it was more kind of metal, and then the kind of barrel
It was
of them.
more metal.
Yeah, but you know, some of the guns these days look weird. Anyway, these ones had kind of big kind of knives on them and spikes on them, and they, you know, the Iron Banner emblem was kind of etched into the side, and the barrel was kind of a bronzy color that kind of looked like it had been like a James Bond kind of gun with the carvings in the sides and things. I don't know.
Yes,
I
James
don't
Bond.
know.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. But yeah, what I'm saying is they missed a trick not bringing some of those archetypes or some of those designs back into Destiny 2 because they look fantastic.
Yeah. So speaking of PvP, right?
Mhm.
Since
Because we're
we're
still here
on
talking
this,
about Iron Banner PvP, yes.
exactly, yeah. What build are you taking into PvP? Are you going Prismatic Titan, or are you sticking with a tried and true arc of some kind?
I'm just going to rock up
Rock
into Iron Banner.
arc?
No, just going to rock up. I'm just going to walk in there, and that's it.
What you have to have it? What?
I don't have to have anything. I'm just going to go. I'm walking in there with the guns that are going to be on me, and I'm going to shoot people in the faces.
Mm-hmm.
Is that upsetting you?
A little bit, yeah.
I haven't. No,
The fact
Look.
that Titans can do that is upsetting. You know, you don't need to
no,
build.
I'm going to do that with anyone.
no.
No, I'm doing that with anyone.
Everybody can do that.
No,
you don't have you don't have to go in with whatever, especially if
you
you're like, no, you really don't. It
you
doesn't
do.
matter. It doesn't
That's
matter.
why the meta is called the meta. You have to.
No.
Don't lie to me, man.
I don't have to do that in Iron Banner.
I'm actually kind of a little bit a smidge looking forward to this Iron Banner because there's two hunter builds that I kind of want to try out. One of them is just the one dodge and then you die build, where like
That doesn't seem very good.
well,
You die or we die?
and you die build.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, because if you're close, well, not close, but if I dodge next to you, then I slow you, so you can't double jump, you can't run away, you can't do anything, and then I pop up a bomb, right, and then I leave the decoy, right. So if the decoy for some reason doesn't detonate because you're right next to it, then the bombardier bomb will detonate it, and then you'll either be killed by the decoy, by the bomb, or by the strand little threadlings that happen afterwards. And I'm kind of all about it. I want to see how it actually plays out. So, yeah. I haven't heard anybody playing it in PvP. I haven't seen anything online about hunters really thrashing this about, so I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not, or if people just don't want to say anything because they don't want it to get nerfed. I don't know. But I want to try it. I want to see.
Well,
'Cause
did
it-
you
it
want to know how
sounds
fast you
powerful.
will be getting the new weapons? Because getting
New
many
weapons
rolls for these weapons is
for-
going to be easier. The Criminal Dagger and the Claws of the Wolf.
I'm not
You'll still
really
need to
into-
unlock them, apparently.
Criminal's
the drop.
Daggers,
Hand cannon.
hand cannon?
I've
Nah,
just,
I don't care
I've
about that
just told you about that. And the pulse rifle. By getting to ranks 4 and 7 with Saladin, and then you'll
Right.
unlock them. Once you've unlocked them, go and grab them off of him, and then they will drop in your loot pools as either post-match rewards, or you can kind of focus them with your Iron Banner focusing. So yeah.
Isn't Criminal's
cool.
Dagger the one everybody wanted? It has like the high damage with the low recoil.
Yes,
Is it
and
that one? Yeah.
It's been adjusted as well. So its stats have
adjusted
been
better
adjusted
or worse?
better, apparently.
Yeah. I told you what they did to it.
Yeah,
You
but
did.
it's a
A little more ammo, a little more
Yeah.
handling, a little more stability, and a little more airborne effectiveness. I'm with you. It's a hand cannon, but also it's materials. It's glimmer.
My Glimmer's been at 500k since the beginning of the season. I don't know what to spend it on.
Just go to Rahul. He'll give you something for it. But don't forget, if you are playing Iron Banner next week, if you equip any Iron Banner gear or ornaments, you can boost your kind of
XP game.
XP reputation, and it's double XP next week as well for Crucible. So that's pretty cool. So you'll get doubles, sort of double doubles, and then each day from Tuesdays. Yeah, each day from Tuesday's reset, you will have pinnacle boosts, and you will have just rank boosts as well. So you'll be able to get a pinnacle drop, a pinnacle like engram after, I think it's after like day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So you can get 4 pinnacles each week for each character. And then for 4 days as well, you can either kind of play all full days every single day, or you can wait to the 4th day, like I think it's Friday reset, and then grab all the pinnacles that you want all in one go. And the same with the rank boost resets as well. But if you put Iron Banner gear, and that includes weapons and armor or ornaments on your kind of regular gear, that will give you a boost as well. And you can check down in the left-hand corner, I think it's on the information eye, and it will tell you how many kind of items that you've got. It's up to 5 items that you can have, like the Iron Banner gear equipped. It will give you XP boosts towards the emblem as well. Don't forget to put your Iron Banner emblem on there as well, because that gives you an extra, that's like 10% or something. So that will help you kind of rank up with Lord Saladin to then get more engrams, more gear, and get your new shaders, get your new emblems, and enjoy Iron Banner like I do. And don't go in there, expecting a lot. Just go in there with just a game plan of having fun. If it's just to pick on one person throughout the whole match, do that. Just pick on them and play.
Don't pick on me. I'm already not going to be having a great time.
I'm just going to bubble up on this place over here, or I'm going to kind of just keep putting out those threadlings. Just
people talking about how the bubble got nerfed, that they don't use it in PvP anymore. Wasn't that you that said that?
I haven't been in PvP with it. No, but it has been nerfed. Yes.
This is not competitive. This is silliness.
Yeah, this is silliness. This is funsies. That's what Iron Banner is. Funsies.
The sweaties that I come across, and they don't make it seem like funsies.
Exactly. You turn it on its head. You make it funsies. If they're shooting you with like the meta loadout, and they've got the meta loadout, you pull out the silliest gun that you've got in your inventory or in your vault, and you try and shoot them and kill them with that, so that it comes up on their kill feed, and they go, "What the hell is this guy playing at? He doesn't know." And then you get the angry messages, and that sparks you to play more.
Messages. Did I not tell you? Maybe I didn't. Did I not tell you about me getting the death threat last time I played PvP?
Nanty narker them to death.
Yeah, just anything. Just make it fun. Make it your own kind of. Take a group of 6 warlocks in there or 6 hunters, and just do silly things, or just do silly things by yourself. It's It's not trials. It's not sweaty land.
Bring 6 hunters.
PvP.
I would say dress the same, but you're all going to do that anyway. Yeah. So just bring 6 hunters, so they won't know who they're killing. They're just shooting the all black hunter, but that's all of you. It'll be just like a swarm of nanites surrounding them, except they're all black hunters.
That seems racist.
And then run Rat King.
The Rat King build was pretty fun. I wasn't very good at it, but it was fun.
Run 6 Rat Kings with 6 other hunters, all dressed alike. That feels like someone's worst nightmare. Or
but only show one hunter at a time, and when they kill that hunter, another one pops out. When they kill that one, what's happening here?
Clown car methodology.
Being silly.
So apparently there's a Sandbox update. Who'd like to tell people about the Sandbox update? Because it doesn't interest me. I'm not really concerned about this because I haven't been playing with them, so it doesn't really matter to me. But
So
other people are upset.
They touch the things. Let's see, what do they touch? They touch the recoil on the Kvastov and the ricochet shots.
Yeah, it's a little sad,
It,
Panda.
it should come as no surprise to anyone who has used the beloved bullet bouncing auto rifle that there was something different
Broken?
about the recoil. This is the result of a bug.
Mhm.
They intend to reduce the recoil of special ricochet rounds by 50. That's 50%. But it was instead applied to the entire magazine, giving the Kvastov maximum stability.
And it was amazing.
So it took the Cerberus and applied it to the Kvastov, but it was meant to be more like the Cerberus, where you can shoot bullets. They're not going to go where you think they're going to go, but you can absolutely shoot them. So they're going to be removing the bug, which reduces the recoil by 50%. But as a middle ground, they've increased the base stability by 30 all the way up to 72. So it's going to give back some, but not all of the stability feel without leaving it so far out of band.
You basically lose about 20% of the stability that you've been using up to this point.
Yep. Which
Yeah.
you're never supposed to have. So enjoy it. For those of you who had it, for those of us who never had it, we'll never know the difference. So we'll go, yep, it's still a gun.
But no, honestly speaking, I know, but like it has the best stability of any gun in this game I have ever used. Ever.
Well,
It was
yeah,
nice.
because it's got all the stability.
Yeah, I mean, like
All
it
of
was beyond laser beam. Like I was just like, this is nuts. And I called it out on the first day. I was like, didn't Kvastov in the first game have like kind of like an AK-47 recoil? It bounced a lot, but now it's like a laser beam, and it was amazing. Was being the key word. I haven't used it since then. I'll give it a go. But was this only PvP or is this global? I don't remember.
This is that one's global at least. And ricochet shots, while the bouncing rounds are fun for PvE, they're proving to be problematic balance issues for PvP. The high uptime of the ability being buffed by orbs, the damage they deal on both the initial impact and the returning bounces allows the weapon to naturally drop its time to kill down to a level usually reserved for the difficult to trigger damage boosts. So we want to avoid impacting PvE with this change. So while we've reduced the initial bonus damage impact against players, so PvP is being reduced from 15 to 5%. They've also reduced the bouncing bullet damage from players only from 18.4 to 4.6 damage, leaving PvE unchanged. So these changes will retain the uptime of the perk in the Crucible, but bring the effectiveness more in line. So recoil was a bug on the weapon that's being changed everywhere. The ricochet shot changed to drastically do less damage against players is PvP only. PvE will remain unchanged. And the Red Death also is getting some recoil touching. So lurking just on the Kvastov's coated surface of our current weapon meta is the Red Death. Many players have noticed there is something special about the Red Death's recoil pattern. Unlike with the Kvastov, this was not a bug. It was an intentional connection with the original Destiny variant of the weapon, which, like the Outbreak Perfected, utilized auto rifle's recoil pattern instead of the more severe pulse rifle ones, giving a tighter burst spread, and a high ease of use. And while the Red Death wasn't as far out of band as the high impact pulse rifles, it's very strong. And they're going to make it less strong. They're going to completely replace the recoil with the standard pulse rifle recoil. It felt like it shoved the gun too far away from its origin, so instead they're going to choose to reduce the additional stability that the pattern provides. So they're not taking the auto rifle recoil pattern off. They're going to make it just feel... they're reducing its stickiness, basically. This will align with the burst speed more closely with other pulse rifles while retaining as much of the unique feel as possible. So the recoil, it's going to have some recoil. They use a lot of words to say we're going to give it some recoil. I really wish that they would give us numbers on these things that weren't in a big paragraph, so you didn't have to suss all this out. But we're here for moaning. Also, the speaker site, which I've heard some people reference, its orb generation. As it stands, it's currently too easy to generate an extreme number of orbs in the Crucible using this exotic. Which, I don't need to explain to you why that may be a problem in, competitive or trials or anywhere else. While we'd like to retain the ability to generate orbs in Crucible to allow players lean into the healer fantasy, the current volume is not healthy for the Sandbox. As a short-term solution, they are going to be disabling the orb generation in the Crucible only. Longer term, they're going to revisit it and allow it to create orbs, but at a more reasonable rate. And the speaker site is a Warlock helmet, I believe.
Yeah. Have you
Which
seen it in action? What like? So
only
people are using.
I think Cheese or whatever, or someone made a video about it, but no, I'm not.
Yeah,
Again, I'm not playing enough Crucible to really see it.
People are using things like Tommy's matchbook and like ricochet rounds to hurt themselves, while the Warlock just keeps shooting them. And there's a pile of orbs on the ground, dude. It's nuts.
So they took it all the way to 11.
Yeah. 11?
So
nah, bro, it's way worse than that. Oh, or it was. They disabled it, but it was not, like immediately people were having full supers in like trials, and I was like, God. Imagine being the other team. Wait, round 1 supers, all of them. What?
No, come on. But both teams will be doing that at this point, except for us
Not
going in there
anymore.
going, what happened? And basically going to say these are the first, these are the first of the mid-episode patch changes they have for us. They're not going to give away too many things, but they'll have more quality of life and changes coming. And in a Destiny 2 reprised map coming in the next episode. Some UI updates to help with the clarity and a, quote, big feature they're heads down on, working for the 3rd episode that they can't wait to share with us. So we'll see what those are. But that's all they're telling us right now. And now we're gonna witness Respawn in real time. Witness this cosplay.
I saw it already. Pretty good.
I saw the video on, I think it was on TikTok, of them making it. Looked absolutely fantastic, like with proper mechanics and smoke, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah,
people are really getting into this, man. Like it is hardcore. Like even people that are familiar with the cosplay world, like, damn, it's next level.
It's unreal. Yeah, I was looking, again, they've got a, Cosplay Cosmodrome article attached to this one too, and just, I'm like, in my brain, I know you're a real guy. I know you're a person, but yes, wow. Just it's incredible. It's also 10.5 feet tall, 3.2 meters for those of you in Meterland. It's just 5,000 handmade panels. Insane. Yeah, the Witness out there roaming around the world. It's Pride Month. It's almost the end of Pride Month. They've got pins. If you want pins, go get your pins on the Bungie store, Bungie use, or the EU Bungie store. EU Bungie store. It comes with your prismatic emblem. $7 will be donated to the It Gets Better Foundation, or It Gets Better. It is $10 through the donation to get the thing, which goes to the Bungie Foundation. If you want pins, give the money. It all goes to charity. TLDR. There's also two an emote and a transmat. The Rainbow Connection emote. I will let one of our people who speak in the good letters tell you that. And there's also the End of the Rainbow transmat. So those of you who remember which letters are which things. I can tell you it's TK7D3P FDF for your emote, and R9J79M and J6C for your transmat. And if you're going, I typed in what you said and it didn't work, then go to the TWAB and copy and paste, and then you'll be good.
There you go. Copy pasta.
And now we're preparing for the bounty of good. The bounty of good, the Bungie of good, the 7th column chaos. Apparently that's a thing that's going on that I've totally forgotten about. But the next installment, which apparently we've already had the first installment of, returns. Good news. Many days ago, when they say today, which was Thursday. So the Bungie Foundation Twitch channel. So not Mashed and Kubaki did something with Bungie devs teaming up with the Crucible, but that's over now. So hope you saw it or not, and there'll be another one that they might tell us about before it ends. which I vaguely remember this happening, but Bungie, you need to do a better job, like reminding people that things are going on. Maybe just a thought.
Oh my.
Can I put Failsafe in my pocket to carry around?
You have her on your chest, dude. Do you have it yet? Does she talk to you?
No.
Nobody's been able to answer this for me.
We don't have radios. The only radios we have are the old ones that sit around the
You have
campfire.
Failsafe. You have Failsafe on your chest. Does she talk to you through your chest?
You're just speaking nonsense words to me.
What? Am I tripping? Isn't your rocket chest piece got freaking Failsafe in the middle?
I don't know. I don't have that chess piece. I
Ugh.
wouldn't know. I foolishly chose the other one at the end of the campaign because I was sitting here going, you gave us an exotic that lets us throw our wall around, and that sounded stupid. So I was like, sure, rockets, whatever. Should have gone with the rockets as it turns out, but that's okay.
Hold on. You back up a little bit. Throw your wall?
Yeah, that was the last exotic and the last thing that no one ever used.
What? Hold on. What does that mean, throw your wall? Are you messing with me?
You could take your barricade and put it in a distant location. And I would tell you what the exotic was called, but I do not remember the name of it, and I'm trying to look through my collection of things.
So like a grenade, you throw what the what?
Yes.
Is it like a gun?
No.
That
You
sounds,
take the barricade and you can put it somewhere else. It wasn't because it's just your barricade. It's not.
Is it the event warden?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't even remember. Let's see. Arbor Warden. Yes.
Arbor Warden.
Yeah. So the Arbor Warden, it's a chess piece.
Abeyant Leap is the other one.
Yeah. I could tell you. I was like, I could tell where you were going, but I was like, no, that's enough words to help me remember. Yeah. It's got the Baronade perk. Using your class ability channels defensive flight inward, providing a grenade that creates a barricade on impact. So yes, it's you throw a grenade and the barricade pops up from where that grenade lands.
Huh.
Which is a thing you could certainly do if you wanted to.
I'm wondering, could you throw that in a boss DPS phase? Just throw your barricade in front of the boss, and his bullets don't go through it.
No, but then you also couldn't shoot at him either. So
no, his gun tends to be lower than his head. Block his gun, shoot the head. What I'm thinking.
Yeah, but it would also last about 4 seconds, if that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly a thing you could do. I remember I think it was Cammy Cakes made a video about it when it came out, being like, so you could meme with this in the Crucible, but why would anyone ever use this? And I don't think I've ever seen it in practice or come across anybody ever using it, because again, why would you? But it is indeed certainly a thing you could do if you wanted to.
Would it not be good for throwing your barricade out and then running behind it to res somebody instead of you running out there trying to pop your barricade so that you can res somebody before you get killed?
Maybe, but are you really going to use that over any other exotic?
I don't know your loadout, man. Do you have something better than that?
I can absolutely tell you, yes. I would use any exotic armor piece that's not that. Literally anything. I would put anything in the world.
By the way, you got feedback
before this.
You got feedback and synthesis and all that good stuff. Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of other things I would use. I would take 2 grenades over that. I would anything. Okay. Anyway,
my bad.
So while I may have Failsafe on my chest, I'm not sure if I can carry Failsafe around in my pocket. Because maybe the player support report will have more. Probably not, but maybe. There is a Pony error code update. They believe they've resolved the issues involving the Pony error code. You may now go into settings and turn the public fire team invites, text chat, and Bungie friend requests back on if you like. If you were seeing Pony errors, you can now turn on those things again, and theoretically, it'll work. Bad news, your raid jacket and your bag extension. Actually, no, good news. Players now have until July 9th to defeat the Witness in Salvation's Edge and earn the chance to purchase the raid jacket and the raid sling bag. So, you've got more time till the 9th of July. Your post-excision cutscenes. I saw this week. They've added an epilogue option, which is now available in the difficulty selector of the excision activity. This allows players to rewatch the final cinematics of the final shape. So if you wanted to go and not trap respawn watching the final cutscene while you're sitting there staring out into the Traveler, you can now do that without having to play excision or watch all of the cutscenes. It's just there now, down there in the selectable options along with the Grandmaster.
Oh, it's held against my will.
You did it to yourself. Your will brought you right there.
I was trying to help a friend. I didn't know you were going to kidnap me.
Yeah, and then you were kidnapped. Listen, I had candy. You walked toward the van. That's on you. We're also invading. We have some known issues, because of course we do. The first known issue is Respawn can't figure out how to enhance some of his weapons.
I know how. It just
seems like a skill gap, but maybe is a bug.
God. You know what I'm going to show y'all.
Bungie is investigating reports that some players can't access Trials of Osiris or obtain rewards from Saint 14. Yeah, because the Vex have taken him. He's having a severe crippling bout of anxiety. Give him a week. That's why we need 2 weeks of Iron Banner, so he can work out some of that anxiety and then come back to be the Trials vendor. Some players are unable to see shapes on the wall in the Verity encounter in the Salvation's Edge raid. Skill issue. The shapes are there, just look harder. Players and or weapons sometimes aren't loading properly in multiple areas of the game. Correct. Because in the words of Andy 13 to me this week, you know how hard it is to try to shoot a bow in PvP when you can't see the bow because it doesn't actually exist. It's just a vague outline on your screen.
Look, I kept telling y'all this. Look, because it's been happening to me all freaking week. I'm disappearing. My weapons are disappearing. Other people are disappearing.
Yeah,
There's an app. If you play on PC, go to Steam. Download an app called Crosshair X. It will put a crosshair on your screen, and you can customize the shape, the color, whatever the hell you want. It is your crosshair. You do what you want.
Cheaters, hacks.
When Bungie doesn't provide you a crosshair, you're allowed to put one there yourself. All right?
Nope, that's cheating. I'm reporting Respawn for cheating.
It's not cheating.
And finally, some players.
You see this? Look, no, shush. Look at the sword. You see?
This is an audible medium.
Look.
There's one more. I'm going to get through this last one. As some players who complete the Lightfall campaign on legendary difficulty are not receiving their exotic rewards. That's it. That's the known issues.
Wow.
Yeah, still.
So if you look under your known issues, the Artist of the Week thing, there's a Celestial Nighthawk. Did I say banner? Sorry, wallpaper. There's a
there we go.
Nighthawk. The artist is amazing. This is one of the coolest things. But I'm so sad that the resolution is so small because I wanted to make it the desktop background of my ultra wide. It gets super pixelated when it gets that big, but it's so cool. Look at this. Anyway.
The Light and Flame by Ladiren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Light and Flame by whatever the hell you just said, and it's on Twitter. I checked him out on Twitter. It is there, and I reached out to him to see if maybe he's got a higher resolution or maybe even a vector image, something. Because I want this. I need this in my life. But right now, it's just too small and too pixelated for me to actually utilize. But that is so cool.
Yeah, it says it was a commission. So the high res may be for some, whoever he made it for.
Bro, give me his name. I will buy it.
You can be like, can I also give you the money to get this?
Right. Bro, you've already got it. Just how much you want.
And then there's...
I should show y'all.
And everything of the week. Real-time update, since we're talking about things that we moaned about and not moaned about.
We're not moaning. We love things.
Noble sent a link to grimoire.fyi, grimoire.fyi, which I opened this link and the top of the page says, Destiny 2 lore can be confusing. Grimoire is your solution. Curated collection of lore presented as books, neatly organized and easy to read with sources provided.
Oh.
So there's, they don't have everything there, obviously, but there's a number of books that, are written as a narrative where you can go, for instance, coming soon, The Man They Call Cade, and you can get all the good Cade things and find out all about Cade. It's coming soon. It's not there yet, but they have a number of other books and you're like, I want to know about Rolk, or what's this whole deal with the Black Garden, or Clovis Bray. That dude had some issues. I'd like to know more. So I'm excited to dive into these and see what stories it wants to tell me in a nice narrative format, in chapters and in hopefully in order. So
maybe something on what do you call it? What's the audio book that everybody listens to that's always on all the ads?
I have no idea
Audible.
What you're referring to.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Audible. You should make the Grimoire into an Audible and let people buy it that way. That would be a good thing. Just buy for somebody, just read you the lore all the time in order, the way it shows up. Just like have the lore book itself on Audible, right? And then just have, like, I don't know, Nitedemon read it to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right? I mean, I want Nitedemon to read it
I'm
to me.
going to assume that there's audio versions of the Grimoire anthologies, but I'm not sure about that. Wouldn't surprise me if there were. But again, these are hopefully in order, not just like a choose your own adventure style. Here's the thing. We're going to go reference that guy. Don't know who he is? Tough. Because that's half the problem. You're reading a lore and you're going, I don't know who this person is. Let me go read 9 other pages to figure that out. Where if it were a story and a narrative, you would know because that character would have been introduced. Game of Thrones can do it. Destiny can do it.
You know what I can do?
You can read it to everybody?
I can tell everybody what's happening next week in Destiny.
No, you can't.
Ooh.
You are not a psychic.
Sort of. This is your weekly rundown of the final shape, week 5, starting on July 2nd, 2024. The 5th week of the new expansion sees the return of the Crucible game mode Iron Banner. This is normally a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, but Bungie have decided to make it a 2-week event, which means there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend for the next 2 weeks. For this first week, it will be the regular Iron Banner control all week, with the following week being Iron Banner Tribute. The Kinetic Aggressive Frame Hand Cannon Crimmel's Dagger and Void Rapid Fire Frame Pulse Rifle Claws of the Wolf make their loophole return. Plus, you will also be able to earn Pinnacle rewards, past Iron Banner weapons, as well as a new emblem Ollie Rocket and new shader Hammer Shock. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is available for teams of 2 Guardians. You can grab a friend or use the in-game Fireteam Finder to find a buddy, and farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. This mission does require some communication and cooperation mechanics to complete. The Final Shape's cooperative focused campaign mission this week will be Descent. The 12 Guardian match-made Excision mission is also available next to the raid for a weekly pinnacle, and the Grandmaster version of Excision will grant you the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The featured Onslaught map this week will be Vostok, with the Sea Chook Ogre kicking off the boss rotation. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Pet Revenge can be found in the Strand, and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind World features Taken enemies and the Plagues, Sicarus and Veracruz. The Ascendant Challenge will be the Agonon's Abyss over in the Bay of Drowned Wishes Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and Fanatic Insanity. On Europa this week, Credis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Cabal, Taken, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lycan armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 3, Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Cunning, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Lightful weekly mission is First Contact, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex Incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. The Master version of the Salvation's Edge raid is now available, and will include a new challenge every week for the next 4 weeks for the Seal and Title Iconoclast. This week's challenge is in the second encounter. The Crota's End raid challenge this week should be the second encounter across the bridge called Precarious Balance. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the third encounter Macrocosm called Cosmic Equilibrium. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the fourth encounter Daughters of Oryx called Under Construction. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the fifth encounter Atheon called In Symbolist Refrain. The Deepstone Crypt challenge this week is the second encounter Atrax 1 called Copies of Copies. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the fourth encounter Sanctified Mind called 0 to 100. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the fourth encounter Vault called Keep Out. Your pinnacle raid will be the Vow the Disciple over on the Throne World, with all challenges available for each encounter, with the exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation being farmable from the final boss. The pinnacle dungeon will be the Shattered Throne over on the Dreaming City, and the exotic mission rotator will be Presage, with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward, the Season of the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Eidolian Pursuing armor set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. This week's challenges are Escalating Abilities, Golden Treasure, Boiling Point, Iron Sharpens Iron, Boss Battle, and Acoustic Performance. Lost Sectors, Tuesday, Vel's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Wednesday, Exodus Garden 2A on the Cosmodrome, Thursday, The Broken Deep in the Pale Heart, Friday, The Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart, Saturday, The Forgotten Deep in the Pale Heart, Sunday, Petition on Europa, and Monday, Bunker E15 on Europa. Our fifth featured Nightfall will face off against the Mad Warden in the Warden of Nothing over on the Dreaming City, with the Slammer Sword being the featured weapon. The 6v6 control playlist will be taken over by the Iron Banner, Mayhem in the Party Relentless playlist, Showdown in the 3v3 playlist, and 2v2 Clash in Crucible Labs. Plus, bonus Crucible ranks available all week long. And that's it for the 5th week of the final shape. I think you got Psycho right, because, 2 weeks of Iron Banner.
You will be. Are you going to be streaming it? And if so, what times?
Don't know. Probably. Maybe. Who knows?
You should let me know ahead of time so I can jump on and we can do some shenanigans.
But that means you're dragging me into the PC pool. And then
Are you scared of the PC pool, Mr. Iron Banner?
No, I'm not. I'm just,
Well, then why does it matter if I drag you into the PC pool? What you got against the PC pool? Are you PCist?
No.
So then what's the problem? You just don't want to play with me. If you don't want to play with me, just say, you respawn, your feet stink, and your mom dresses you like a troll. I understand. It happens. Your silence speaks volumes.
Anyway.
So many volumes. Do we care what happened in the patch this week? There's been a lot of patches this week. Do the people need to know? Does anybody care? Does Respawn care?
Respawn never cares. But other people might care.
Yeah. They fixed some things, they broke some things. The end. Moving
on. Stuff's broken, stuff is not so broken. Things have been buffed, things have been nerfed.
Yeah.
There you go.
So if I haven't told you about stuff, we have the Scenic Route Challenge for Kimber Prime. They're going over the challenge for this previous week. So when it comes back around, you'll be able to do it. We have the Reposit, which is the God's Gift auto rifle from True Vanguard. This is the competitive auto rifle. Peroty, this is one that you might need. It's a 720 RPM, but it's a lightweight. So it's in its own kind of unique kind of world. And apparently there is a kind of curated role that you can get to drop as well. Let me just have a quick look.
Yeah, I saw someone had made a video about it. Yeah, RIPOSTE.
Yeah. So it comes with destabilizing rounds, target lock, dynamic sway, desperate measures, encore or kill clip, with repulsor brace, tap the trigger, enlightened action, zen moment, killing wind, and to the pain. But there is a curated role that it can drop. And apparently lots of people are talking about how cool this is. So
and it's void. So
we have to watch True Vanguard's video.
Yeah. Void plays very nicely into my I want all the void to make my cracked china helmet heal me. So I like it. So I have to go play competitive for this, huh? Complete my competitive matches.
You kind of do, yeah.
Okay, it's doable. Complete, I can do. Do well in, that's optional. But I can complete with the best of them.
Good. That's what you need to do.
You two PvP guys. What is the role I'm looking for the Argo Sum? Because that's a PvP gun, right? The Void auto rifle.
Argo Sum.
So are you talking about the Ross
Argos?
Yeah, Ross Argos. That one. Yeah. What did I say?
You said the sword.
Yeah, I was like, that's the sword you've described. Yes,
the Void auto rifle. Yeah,
the Ross Argos 4.
That
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I bet if you search YouTube and type in PvP in that gun, it would tell you, because I don't know. I've got a couple of roles, but none of them are particularly PvP focused.
Well, so anything that's got rewind rounds on it with the Ross Argos, Aragos.
Our buddy Ross. Just talk to
Ross. The Ross gun. Rewind rounds. And I've got one that's got deconstruction on there, or deconstruct on there, and I've got another one with golden tricorn, and they are fantastic. And I think I've also got another one to just recently drop with onslaught on there with rewind rounds.
I've got that one. I have that one.
Try that one.
And I've also got the subsistence onslaught. I didn't know which one I should keep because I don't like having multiple copies of guns. So that's what I was asking.
For PvP, you want the onslaught, but for things like PvE that you're kind of well known for, you want like the subsistence or the rewind rounds with deconstruct, because that you can just continually fire it at bosses.
How does I was using it in onslaught though. Like the description is TLDR as a mofo, right? So
dealing sustained damage grants bonus damage against vehicles and constructs and refunds ammunition, and it procs against. With bosses and things, I find that it seems to proc. So it's continually giving me back ammunition. And if I've got rewind rounds on there as well, that's also giving me ammunition for just basically hitting on the number of hits. It's just constantly flowing.
But is it limited to bosses? Like, so if I'm
No.
shooting something
I think like even yellow bars and things like and champions, especially I think one of the champions is auto rifles, isn't it? This season, I think.
Unstop? Is it Unstop?
Unstop, yeah. One of them, I'm sure, was that last season. But anyway, when I've used it against bosses, I've used it against yellow bar.
We're both wrong. There's nothing for auto rifle this season.
It was last season. Then I was using it against champions. It was just melting them. They couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Deconstruct is really good for doing damage and getting it back. Like we talked about that with the Tusk of the Boar, the Iron Banner grenade launcher.
Yep.
For Onslaught, going, you hit something, it gives you ammo. You hit something, it gives you ammo. Same idea. Because I've got the same Deconstruct.
It says like bosses, vehicles, and constructs, right? But people are using it like in PvP and just like in all kinds of weird places. I'm like, how the hell? Like, what in PvP counts as a construct?
It's not just constructs. It's not just bosses.
No.
So it's just like everything. Sustain damage on things.
Upon scoring multiple hits, refills 10% of the magazine from reserves. That's what you need to know. Hit things, you get ammo back. Period. Full stop. That's that's the short version of what the Deconstruct perk does.
Okay, so it's not limited. It's you just shoot anything, a person, a place, a thing, and you'll get ammo back.
Yeah, you get different amounts for constructs and vehicles and blah blah blah. But you get things and get ammo back.
You get the 40% increase in damage against constructs and vehicles.
Yeah, but just shoot things and get ammo back. Yeah, because I've got the same Deconstruct rewind round roll, and I've been using it in PvE. Just going, I can hold this down, and I don't need a war rig on. I can just shoot forever, and then reload, and then shoot again forever. Because your rewind rounds, refill 60% of the number of hits landed, rounded up in the magazine from reserves. So, and since your reserves are infinite, you've got 2 perks that are just going to give you loads and loads of ammo as you go. I haven't been counting like how many bullets I've got in that mag, but it's the one I've got sits at 44, and I've certainly been well above that a number of times.
Just never reloading.
I mean, reloading eventually, but then reloading more and more bullets, just taking handfuls of bullets and shoving them in there.
It's a 30-round magazine. Is it though? Is it?
And I've got a video from Mactix this week that goes over ranking every exotic class item in Destiny 2 Titan Edition. So you can also use that with your blue engram. Because I thought that was quite interesting.
Engram blue.
That's another thing I need to actually get
engram
around to
blue.
doing.
Whatever. Blue engrams. Engram blue.
Because it's throwing people out. Because I've been saying it the same way, but the website is engram.blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's my videos. Parody's already thrown some videos in there. Have you thrown some videos in there?
I threw the one about the sword.
Good.
Well, he threw the one about the sword that I talked about.
Yeah. The first one. Yeah.
Yeah, we found the one. And also, I mean, Act 2 starts for Echoes July 16th for everybody moaning about how
17
Echoes
days.
was over. Yeah, you've just got to wait like 2 weeks, so you'll be fine. I promise you. Get over it. And I guess it's worth this silly update of 8005. I wasn't going to read all of these things, but there are a couple things that we've now touched on and talked about that I think are worth doing. One of them, which actually we do have a Respawn Report Roundup to get to, so we'll see if these are duplicated there or not. So
we do that. Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say I'm not going to read all of these. I'm just going to read a couple of them. The Dual Destiny Exotic Mission, as everyone knows who has run it so far, they fixed an issue where it was possible to earn the double exotic class items. So that's
so
to make
sad.
everybody very, very sad. They removed the surges on raids and dungeons. Shattered Throne still had a surge on it this week, so they've swapped it out, going, we're going to take Shattered Throne out back and figured out why it's not doing what it's doing, and then when it comes back, it should have its surge removed properly. The thing that at the time I didn't know what these were, in the seasonal activity they fished, it should be the we don't have seasonal activities. There's no seasons anymore, guys. Get it together. The episodic activity.
Nice
issue where the piston hammer charges were being reset daily instead of adding a charge. This fix was applied midweek, shortly after 8.004. So your piston hammer charges got fixed midway between the two patches. There was apparently an issue where the storm grenade was receiving 40% more energy than intended from perks that granted instant percentage chunk energy, such as Devour or Armor mods. So storm grenades are now a little less spicy than they were. They have a note in here about fixing the precious scars with the solar weapons that I think they then went back and said, just kidding, no, we didn't. So the precious scars is potentially fixed, and Respawn's report roundup will actually give you the truth of the matter, because I can't remember where they landed, if they fixed it and didn't fix it, and we meant to and didn't actually do it. So caution with precious scars and solar. They did where to go? Fix an issue where players were unable to dismantle the didactic prism after obtaining the Ergo Summon an alternate character. And they fixed an issue where collecting encryption bits with a full inventory would block a player from acquiring the Kvostov.
Yes, they did fix that.
Good news for people moaning about Pathfinder. Replaced Ritual Pathfinder Gambit nodes with a general node on some cards. There should now always be a path that can be completed through PvE or PvP only. Since nobody wants to play Gambit, they're just so sad they can't go into play Gambit. It's too hard for them. That's fine. Stay out. Stay out. We don't need you there.
Excuse me?
They also fixed an issue where Ritual Pathfinder objectives involving banking modes did not track correctly. So they had to go play Gambit and it wasn't even working for them. Oh, how sad that is. Fixed an issue where the Pale Heart Pathfinder would reduce the number of Ergo Sum drops available without providing the item if the player had yet to unlock the Ergo Sum. And the Urban Parkour objective of the Pale Heart Pathfinder did not update once the stitching activity was complete in the Lost City outskirts. Also apparently fixed an issue where the visual effects on the prismatic class screens could cause an overheating issue on Xbox consoles. So, that seems better to not have your console overheat when you're using prismatic. And they did fix an issue where the repost auto rifle would only drop as a fixed weapon roll after completing your placement matches. So if, like me, you've been dilly-dallying and not doing any of those things because you didn't know they existed, now you should actually get a randomly rolled weapon, not a fixed roll weapon. So yeah, there we go. Fix some things, broke some things, and then Respawn has a report roundup because they've tweeted lots and lots of things this week and explanations and
strange
maybe
things
Precious
are
Scars
happening
update.
to me. Ain't no doubt about it. All right, number one, first and foremost, we have the Slaycation. Ha! I forgot how to read. The Slaycation emblem has been granted to anyone who unlocked it by completing matches in the new territory playlist. It's under Collections, Flare, Emblem, and General. For those of you that want that. Bungie.
That was the one of playing on the new maps that we could never get the third map to spawn.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so that's that emblem.
We have Bungie Help says the 8005 patch notes stated that our fix for the Precious Scars exotic was included in this release. However, the fix did not go live as expected and has been rescheduled for an upcoming release. Additionally, it will correct the exotic's functionality for players using both the Soul. It stops.
Why that cut off? Yeah, Soul Invictus, and Offensive Bulwark aspects.
Yep, there it is.
Good parsing there, Discord.
Yep, awesome sauce. And let's see what else we got going on here.
Yeah, so Precious Scars still broken on Solar.
And then we have... Hey everyone, we've heard the feedback about certain frustrating elements in Breach executable, and we have a couple of changes planned for the next week's update to improve the experience. Are you going to drop pinnacles? Because I would love it if you would drop pinnacles. Anyway, first off, some enemies were hitting a little too hard, and particularly those affected by both Void Threat and Air Superiority Blasts. We want to keep a bit of variety in our modifiers because the Void Threat is constantly applied. We're moving it from Expert Priest we're removing it from the expert breach executable. So Bungie admitting that they forgot to change modifiers. They just leave void there perpetually, forever and ever. Amen. Cool. All right. We will also be improving the hunt for planetary pistons and radiolite samples with several changes. Those are words that I just had to say, guys. I had to read that. That was not fun. The Guardians will always be able to find 2 pistons in each run of Breach executable. Piston waypoint range is increased for easier visibility. I have a piston. I don't know what it does. I don't know how I get more. I don't know what to do with the one I got. Love it. All right. The delay before being teleported to join allies in the encounter has been increased. This means you can continue to extract samples when your teammates push ahead. Extracting radiolite samples is now instant, so you can get back into the action faster. Cool. We have also investigated the reports of the Guardians being unable to find specimen NES-003 and start the research quest for the Week 4 Seasonal Challenge Research Development 3. Okay. This specimen was originally intended to be found during the Week 4. However, this issue will be resolved at the next weekly reset.
So
Okay.
for everybody going, I did 1 and 2 and I never got 3. It's because it wasn't there to get because they broke it. So you should have it on Tuesday, presumably.
Mayhapsibly, supposedly, indelibly. Thanks for the feedback concerning a new Iron Banana schedule. To be transparent, this is a sort of experiment as we fill out the new episode act structure. Under the new cadence of Iron Banner appearing for 2 weeks in a row, Trials of Osiris will experience fewer interruptions over the course of the act. In the past, Iron Banner would appear once every few weeks. Oh, okay, so by having it 2 weeks in a row, they're actually going to have more trials. You just won't have the trials then. Which means it sounds like you're going to have less Iron Banner overall. Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah, I said that.
You probably did, but when you start talking PvP, my eyes glaze over. Now, Trials of Osiris will be available for 7 to 8 weekends in a row before the next Iron Banner week begins. You will still have the same amount of Trials/Iron Banner to play. It's just that a change to how things are scheduled. We'll be watching feedback as things go live. Oh, so there's no change to Iron Banner. But there's... Wait, hold on. Wait, how can you still have the same Iron Banner but have more trials? Mathematically, that doesn't add up. Or am I tripping? I'm probably tripping. That doesn't sound right. If you have more trials, you have to have less Iron Banner because it's one or the other. You can't have more trials and still have the same amount of Iron Banner. That doesn't make any sense.
You can because the episodes are longer.
Okay.
You have more total weeks to play with.
Okay. So, first of all, Rise of Bacon, love the name, can I have it? Number 2, appreciate the experiments with these things and they can come good. And they can come good. Appreciate the experiments with these things and they can come good. No, I read that right. Okay. Feel like Iron Banner in its current state does not live up to the fun in a 2-week event needs. Is this bad English or am I tripping? What the hell? Feel like Iron Banner in its current state doesn't live up to the fun a 2-week event needs. Okay, there we go. It needs loosening up with connection-based matchmaking and the loot juicing up to challenge the top brass to make playing more desirable. Destiny 2 team responds, says, I appreciate the feedback. We will be monitoring and passing this along to the team before and after the stint of Iron Banner, so please keep it coming. Okay. And what do we have here? Facet of Hope is not working as intended, and we will have a fix scheduled for July 2nd that will address this inconsistency in its performance. First off, we're fixing the issue causing the Facet of Hope to not work with Amplified as intended. Let's see what Facet of Hope does so I can give you guys a little more detail. Facet of Hope does a thing that I totally know off the top of my head, and I am not looking up. There it is. While you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. There you go. All right, cool. So it doesn't count for right now. It doesn't count when you're amplified or just amplified. Okay. Second, we will be fixing and issue causing Facet of Hope to stop working with a buff with a shorter timer ends. Secondly, we will be fixing and A&D issue causing Facet of Hope to stop working when a buff with a shorter timer ends, even if you have a second eligible buff still active. Okay. So if you have multiple buffs and the one with the shorter timer ends, it kills Hope. That's not fun. All right. Finally, we wanted to take the chance to clarify how Facet of Hope works. Facet of Hope's class ability regeneration is active while you have any eligible buff that stays active long enough. See, the long enough is what does that mean, long enough? Is there a minimum timer? What is that? This means Frost Armor, Woven Mail, Restoration, Radiant, Void Overshield, Devourer, Invisibility, and Amplified will all receive Facet of Hope's benefits when Facet of Hope is equipped, supposedly. And that looks to be the end of the Respawn's Report Roundup and my series of inline strokes. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Working as intended.
Respawn isn't.
Yeah, they just had so many threads of, hey, here's all the things that are broken. Here's all the things that are here. And I may have missed some because there were just loads this week.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bot that does that. I could just read off the bot.
Well, yeah, but that'll also give you all the maintenance is up, maintenance is down, maintenance is up, maintenance is back, maintenance is thinking about it.
Okay, that's true.
And then,
that is a lot
and
to
then
read.
yeah, and DMG went back to Bungie, and apparently he had the passwords for the Bungie 2 or for the Destiny 2 Discord that has been dead for months. Because I used to subscribe to that to get all of the official 12 articles and anything else they publish, and it would do the Bungie tweets and all that, Bungie help. Dead for months. DMG gets back, and in the same week that starts working again. So
when you said that, I was reminded.
If that continues to work or not.
When you said that, I was reminded. Remember the original Independence Day when they had the controls on a sticky note on the steering wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just takes it and he flips it upside down. In my brain, when you wrote that, I just thought of him coming back in the office, taking the sticky note that's stuck to the computer, and then flipping it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything started working.
That's really what it feels like. I was like, that has been dead. Like I gave up all hope of that ever being a thing again, and apparently DMG had the passwords, and nobody else knew.
Anyway, so that seems to be about it. Have you guys used the no hesitation auto rifle? How do y'all feel about that?
I've used it. I've crafted it. It's
yeah.
It feels like I like it.
Leveling it up,
but it feels a little crazy in its like recoil pattern. It's firing. It just feels a little all over the place to me.
Yeah, some hits, even though it looks like they hit, they don't register. That's one of my big issues with it. When you're shooting an enemy, I mean, when you're healing your allies, I don't have any issues. But when you're shooting the enemies, it's like I see it hitting you, your health isn't moving, and the damage numbers are disappearing. What the hell's going on? But the healing aspect, I use it in some of the high-level content sometimes, and it saves lives. I got the Circle of Life and the Physic roll, and it's pretty good. I also have an Incandescent Subsistence, which, it is what it is, but I just wanted to get your feel since you like auto rifles a lot, and I'm just like, does it feel weak? And I know it's a healing frame. People say it's good in PvP. Don't know why. But yeah, I'm just like,
I think you just answered your own question with that, but
what, the healing? No. The damage is good in PvP. Sorry, the damage in PvP is good. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. Asked and answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't used it very much. Like I've got enough to craft, so I've crafted that and the calling sidearm. And just haven't really played enough with either of them because again I'm just going full void with the precious scars. I can heal myself and I'm very happy about it, and just haven't bothered really to build anything else out this season yet or this episode.
Fair enough.
But I'm going, yeah, it's certainly there, and I'm going to play with it, but just not yet.
I see. Well, I just wanted to pick your brain on that. I don't really have anything else to say except thanks for being here? Question mark.
Except for, who you can't threaten them with a good time? Zep Orbiting K4. You know who our Otter dance troupe is? Our phenomenal dance troupe of the T-Rex King, Scarlet KM, Mel O'Malley, Dedicated William 64, and Renard Calant. Our grenade throwers of Carter 2782, Golden God 1562, Noble, basically Salt, Fire Squad 1688, and Coderson 105. And Deacon's Day 1 Raid team of Dimwee, Gravy Jeff, and PB Pipe are phenomenal patrons who put up with us each and every week. And really, they're here to appreciate us. We're here to appreciate them. We thank you each and every week and every time. And, we're just very thankful and happy you enjoy the show and enjoy what we do. And, give Respawn more grief, Dimwee.
No!
I think maybe we should rebrand Deacon's Day 1 Raid team into Respawn's personal grief givers or something along those lines. I feel like that would really just harness the energy that Dimwee's putting out. I think that would be a good way to do that.
Why am I being attacked?
Maybe. Don't ask me. You're the one who started it, apparently.
I didn't start anything.
Respawn, you stepped into a war with the Cabal.
With Dimwee.
And I'm stepping into the closing and saying, thank you for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Nitedemon. Your Hunter is no one responds in real life. We are on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you type in 2 Titans and a Hunter. There we are. If you've got feedback for the show, 2titansandahunter at hotmail.com. You can find this show and all the show notes wherever you get your podcasts. If for some reason you're going, you talked about that site, it's in your show notes, 2titansandahunter.com. Every episode's there, except for the one that Nitedemon deleted because he doesn't want you to hear it. All the show notes are there. If you're looking for notes, there's a lovely little link at the top of the page that has all the additional links to all the sites and all the older campaign things that we've got linked. Go follow us on YouTube for every new episode, weekly update video, and all the live streams. And if you want to join the Otter Dance Troupe, threaten us with a good time, throw more grenades, or give Respawn more grief in a more personal fashion, patreon.com/TTH. And if you want to go follow Respawn on Twitch, twitch.tv/NoOneRespawns in real life, to twitch.tv/2titansandahunter, go there, hit the bells, you'll know when they go live. And until next time, tell the people goodbye, gents.
Deuces!
Bye. See, I said it this week.
Good
Wasn't
job.
just in my head.
Nope, not just in your head.
Well, if it's in your head, it's in my head. And I took my meds this morning.
In my head, zombies.
2 Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Hey, did you guys run the Nightfall this week? Oh my
No.
god. Okay, so first of all, once you get a build together, it's super easy.
No.
Just put on slow. Everything's slow. It's going to be a cakewalk for you, for real. There's 2 spots where you can stand that the final boss can't kill
What do
you.
you mean put on slow?
Parody.
I'm a Titan, I'm
You
already
mentioned
slow.
cake. Where's the cake?
Cake? I want
What
cake.
I want cake.
Okay, I don't
Yeah,
say anything
where's
about
where's
cake.
cake?
You just
Like
said cake.
No, I
You
didn't.
said cake. You said let's walk for some cake.
Yeah, where's the cake?
Where's the cake?
What?
I've been promised cake.
You just promised us cake.
I didn't promise anything.
I swear you did.
No, I was talking about the you use the butthead.